That's Phil Collins and Two Hearts on BBC Radio Shropshire. 1:45 coming up from 2. Sport on Saturday. Mary Kate Weldon will take you through the afternoon with all the build-up. She'll be live from Carlisle and joins us now. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're right, Paul?
Yeah, not bad at all. How's the weather looking up there?
Oh, honestly, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Really?
I'm just in my T-shirt. I mean, I bought my coat, my hat, my gloves, everything. I've got a little heater in front of me just in case. But I'm just in a T-shirt. It is absolutely boiling.
I love the fact that you've gone well prepared for whatever weather, because there is a temperature change as soon as the sun starts to drop lower in the sky. This is good forward thinking. I'm impressed.
I've got it all. I'm ready to go. I was like, if I don't bring it out of the car, I'm going to need it. And if I do bring it, I won't need it. So...
Absolutely.
prepared.
Now, tell us a little bit about the two games that have been played today and what our expectations should be.
Yeah, so like you say, Shrewsbury Town, they're here in Carlisle today. They should be looking really for a win today, looking to back up their win against Fleetwood last season, looking to back-to-back away wins as well. And for AFC Telford, they'll be looking to kickstart their FA Cup campaign. They're at home against Coalville. Obviously, that's in the FA Cup, and hopefully a win there and a bit of a cup run will just boost a little bit of momentum for them.
And both of our sides on previous occasions occasionally have had decent runs in the Cup, because it's a kind of different mentality, isn't it? Different clubs focus sometimes more on it, sometimes less on it, but often if there's not too much pressure on it, a good result can come of that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's what Telford need as well. You know, it's been difficult times following their relegation. They've had a couple of good results this season, 3-0, 7-0, but they've not been able to back that up all season. The only issue they really face is they're playing a team that's only one place above them in the league. Usually in that kind of first round of the Cup, you want someone maybe a league or two below just to get off to a good start, but playing someone in the same league that's basically, done what you've done so far, it makes it even more difficult.
Absolutely. And with the signing windows coming to a close, are we expecting to see any new players on either of the pitches today?
So for Telford, it works a little bit differently in the non-league. They don't have a transfer window, so they can sign players as and when they need to. Obviously, for Shrewsbury, the window shut at 11 o'clock last night. We saw 2 players come in and 1 go out in Travis Hearns, who's gone to Newcastle United in the Premier League, so a massive move for him at just 17. And then we're expecting potentially one of the new guys, the new Shrewsbury Town guys, to be in today's squad. That's Ryan Finnegan, who he will probably be in today's squad following the injury for Jordan Shipley last week. Oh no, sorry, I've got my names mixed up. I'm trying to get used to the new face. Ryan Finnegan won't be available today. It's the other signing that Shrewsbury Town made, Brandon Fleming. We are expecting him to be in the squad today. So one of the new faces come in. We know that Morgan Feeney, who joined in the summer from Carlisle, he's definitely not going to be a popular man today. I've heard the stewards actually giving a briefing to they all sit around in the high-vis and they go for a briefing. And they said you might hear some bad language. We're expecting quite a hostile welcome from Morgan Feeney today for Shrewsbury Town.
Right, and you won't miss a kick. We've got all the build-up from 2 with Mary Kate Weldon and the team. They'll bring you all the football action from both of our games. Shrewsbury Town on the road to Carlisle. ASC Telford United taking on Coalville in the FA Cup.
BBC Radio Shropshire Sport.
Good afternoon and welcome to Brunton Park. After transfer deadline day after the window shut yesterday, Shrewsbury Town look to get back-to-back wins on the road. For Telford, focus turns to the FA Cup where they'll play Coalville in the first qualifying round.
I'm Stuart Dunn at Brunton Park, where Shrewsbury Town have made the long trip up the M6 today to face Carlisle, managed by the former Town boss Paul Simpson. One change made by Matt Taylor, Shrewsbury's head coach, to his starting 11. Mal Benning replaces the unfortunately injured Jordan Shipley. But it's been an encouraging start to the season for Town, winning 3 of their opening 5 league games, including last weekend at Fleetwood, Shrewsbury's first away win since February. Carlisle, in contrast, are still seeking their first victory following promotion via the League 2 playoffs in May. The Town legend Steve Cross alongside me for this one in faraway country, live as always right here on BBC Radio Shropshire 96 FM.
I'm Scott Harris at the New Bucks Head, where Telford manager Kevin Wilkin has made 2 changes to play Coalville Town in today's FA Cup tie. Out goes the injured captain Fraser Kerr and George Forsyth. In comes Jared Hotchkiss for his first start, and Byron Moore, who returns from injury. Coalville are from the same division. They have one more point than Telford in the league table. It's 17 years since the Bucks were made to start in the first round of qualification. Dean Craven was in the side that day, and he's in the commentary box next to me for this one. Join us for full match commentary on digital radio and BBC Sounds.
Well, we've got commentary of both games coming up next on BBC Radio Shropshire.
Sport on BBC Radio Shropshire.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to what is a very, very warm Brunton Park. It's lovely up in here in Carlisle. I can see Stuart Dunn next to me, just taking his jumper off as he speaks. I'm in just a t-shirt. It's an absolutely lovely day up north. It's gorgeous. The sun's out, so if you're on your way here, well, I wouldn't say pat your coat because it's a lovely day. If you are on your way up, then drop me a text 81333. I want to get your predictions ahead of today's game. Let us know, can Shrewsbury Town get back-to-back wins for the first time this season? And also head over now to the New Bucks Head, where Scott Harris and Dean Craven are your commentary team today. Telford are in FA Cup first round qualifying action today, and this is how they line up.
Kevin, the FA Cup, who's in the team this afternoon to face Coalville?
Yeah, so Brandon in goal. We'll go 3-5-2, and I think probably end up matching them up, I would think, looking at what they played last week. So Ellis will be right wing back, Tarek will be the left wing back, then we'll go Orin, Jared will come in for Fraser, and Steph on the left hand side. Midfield three of Byron, Jordan and Ty, and a front two of Ricardo and Montel.
So 2 changes. What are you looking to build on from the performance on Monday? Yet to concede at home.
Yeah, it's a nice record to have, but we've not played so many games here, have we? But yeah, you know, hopefully we can keep a clean sheet again. We're clearly tested with some of the players that we've got out. Like I say, you know, Nathan and Fraser too, that have been really, really consistent for us and big players for us. George obviously out as well. It's not ideal and stretches a little bit in certain areas, but it you know, offers an opportunity to some of those lads that haven't been in there to show what they're all about.
What's the situation at the moment in terms of fitness, injuries, and the players out at the minute?
Yeah, so Fraser would be I think the longer term out of those 3 that I've just mentioned. He's got a slight strain on the inside of his knee, which is obviously a cause for concern. But yeah, hopefully it's on the shorter side of what those things can be. Nathan's making good progress, and you know, listening in there, I think he's potentially aiming at training with us again on Thursday, but that may be a little bit premature. But yeah, he is making progress, and to get him back in the group would give everybody a lift. I'm thinking George is not so bad. Again, I would expect that to be a matter of days rather than weeks.
Remy Walker on the bench again. Is he itching to be back out there and involved after almost a month out? Yeah,
I hope so. I mean, he had a fantastic start here, didn't he? The opening day against Royston, scored a terrific goal, and obviously we're disappointed to lose him. And we, that bit of continuity that we're always striving for, and having him in there and embedding him in the team and in the group is really important to us. And obviously that's taken a bit of a backward step for the last month. But yeah, delighted to have him out there and training again, and hopefully pushing to get back into the side.
Coalville had one of the best away records in the league last season. What do you expect from them today? Yeah, they've got a lot of pace and energy across the front line. I wouldn't say they're the most physical across the front, but there's certainly a lot of mobility there. Yeah, they've had a terrific result against Barwell last Monday, and if you can draw a line of form through that. We played Barwell on the Saturday, and they overcome us. Coalville overcoming them fairly comfortably on the Monday. Clearly, we're going to have our work cut out today, but that's where you find yourself. And these are the tests that you have to face and be able to come through. Coalville made the first round proper last season. Teams can get there and beyond. How important is a run in this competition for you and Telford this season? It's always the most lucrative competition you play in every year, isn't it? And the trappings that it brings for players and for us as a team and the club, can't be underestimated. And when you've experienced some of those good cup runs, and I've been fortunate to have done it as a player and as a manager. Yeah, it can be a terrific occasions that it throws up, and you get, like I say, that coverage, the extra bit of revenue that's coming into the club and the group can be massive. So there's, like I say, it ticks so many boxes, and one that everybody wants to have a decent run in. Best of luck this afternoon. Thank you.
Well, that's how AFC Telford line up today in their first qualifying round in the FA Cup. Your commentary team at the New Bucks Head are Scott Harris and Dean Craven. Dean, looking forward to getting, hopefully, Telford getting the FA Cup up and running this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, Mary Kate. You know, it's they're always massive games, aren't they, FA Cup? But there's always that just special little feeling when they come around. And the sun's shining, you know, it should be a really, really good game. And it's a tough opponent, you know, it really is a tough opponent. But, you know, it's about time Telford got a run going again, like they did years ago. I think it was at Millwall they played here. Got all the way through to, I can't remember what round it was, but it was just amazing for the town. So let's hope this is the start of it today.
Well, we just had that team news through, and obviously no Fraser Kerr, who's been one of the, obviously come in and captain the side. How big a miss is he going to be at the back?
You've got to be honest, it's a massive, massive miss, that is. You know, to speak to Scott about it, for me, he's been huge. They're going to miss him today. I'm just hoping that they can, you know, get through the game without him, because you're going to have injuries. You know, that's something that's going to happen all season. Some of your key players will get injuries, and it gives someone else the chance to step up, you know, and play well. So, but, you know, it's a massive, massive miss, that is.
Well, we'll be back at the New Bucks Head before kick-off and hear a little bit more from Kevin Wilkin ahead of kick-off at 3 o'clock, which is just over 45 minutes away now. Well, Telford themselves have struggled for consistency so far this season, not being able to get back-to-back wins. They've had a break from the league, though, this weekend, starting their FA Cup campaign in the first qualifying round. And manager Kevin Wilkin told me he hopes a win will kick-start some momentum.
Coalville are a strong side. They've had a great result. You know, they've beaten Barwell, and obviously a couple of days prior to that, Barwell beat us. So yeah, we know we're going to be in for a tough game. They've got, you know, good players in their ranks, and we're going to get anything out of it. We're certainly going to need to be better than we were second half on Monday.
Something that you're probably sick of us talking about is consistency and becoming consistent. Can a good cup run help that?
I think so. I think, you know, when you're getting out there and that's what you look to build, and you know, hopefully you stay in, you know, these cup competitions, and they allow you like I say, a little bit of change of attention in another competition. But certainly I've always used them and wanted to try and travel well in them. I've been, you know, I've had some reasonable FA Cup runs in the time, and obviously some reasonable trophy runs. So yeah, look, you know, they're part of that learning, that growing, that as you say, continuity is the biggest thing, and there certainly can be, you know, a big part of that.
And, you know, if you're struggling with injuries or unavailability, again, just something that is a challenge with consistency of putting out the same team. I know that's something you were really keen on last season, was just getting the same 11 out there week in, week out. How difficult does that make it?
Yes, I mean, like I say, we have got a few injuries in the camp at the moment, and it is frustrating. There are certain parts of those injuries or injuries to those players, you know, are unavoidable. But you know, there are one or two there that, you know, I've beat on long and hard about being robust and not picking up soft tissue injuries. And it's important that, like I say, you know, it's a big in the game. We don't overexert players, but if they are picking up soft tissue injuries, it just creates that bit of a headache that you can't bring any consistency and progression within the group. But look, that's where we find ourselves, and you know, have to continue to work towards a stronger group.
That's AFC Telford manager Kevin Wilkin ahead of today's FA Cup game. Let's head over to the New Bucks Head. Your commentary team of Scott Harris and Dean Craven. Dean, you played in the FA Cup for Telford. How exciting is that going to be at the New Bucks Head today?
We're just talking about this for the guys. It was so exciting. I couldn't wait. You know, Scott's going to bring up after about my FA Cup heroics when I got sent off. But I was so excited. I got myself way too fired up because I just couldn't wait to get involved. And I know Telford will feel like that. You know, it's been a tough start for them. But today, if they can get through this, the excitement, and I tell you what, if they can get through a few rounds, you'll see the people of Telford come and watch them in their droves.
Yeah, they've had such a strange start to the season in many ways, because they've had some big wins, you know, 3-0, 7-0, but they've just not been able to get any sort of consistency. Is it good to have a break from the league in these cup competitions?
Yeah, I think so. You know, they haven't been consistent, exactly what you say, Mary Kate, they really haven't. But that might come now. You know, this is a totally different game. You know, forget the league, forget consistency, even forget form. You know, both teams will want the excitement at the FA Cup. It's, you know, we're sitting there. I'm so excited for the game. You know, I just hope it's a real good game. But Telford, if they can get through, get into the next round, be so exciting for the town, and the fans will definitely come and watch them.
Yeah, I was there on Monday, and I mean, there's 1,700 there for a Southern Central Premier game, and I suppose if they get further in the competition, more and more fans will come down. It's been 6 years since they reached the first round proper of the FA Cup. Does the club, after a difficult couple of seasons, just need that feel-good factor back?
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a case of the feel-good factor is massive. The next thing is there'll be money to be made because there'll be more fixtures. You get a certain amount. I don't know quite how much the figure is, Mary Kate, but it is an amount. And then you just never know. FA Cups have made a lot of clubs over the years. You can name a lot. I know Hensford Town, Telford, really unlucky when they had their cup run, because if you remember back, I don't know if you can remember back, Mary Kate, but it was going to be on the TV, and I'm sure something happened. There was bad weather. One of the fans out there might be able to tell us, and something happened that they weren't on the TV because of something. But if you can get on the TV, it's so much money, and it can really, really make clubs. The FA Cup can.
And as a player as well yourself, how much is that just winning just becomes a habit? That's something that they struggled with so much for the last couple of seasons, is just not being able to back up wins. They haven't done it yet this season. They've not had back-to-back wins. How much as a player does it just become a habit, and that confidence as well?
Yeah, I'd say at the moment the players are probably sort of low on confidence because they're winning one, then they're struggling, and then there's been really inconsistent. But they'll love the break. Yeah, they'll feel totally different. That'll all be forgotten today. All they'll be thinking about is, it'll be on the TV. FA Cup is massive. It's massive. It's exciting. I think every single one of them players today will be thinking, I can't wait to get started. And it could be a hell of a game.
Well, we'll have full commentary of AFC Telford's FA Cup first qualifying round game against Coalville Town coming up very shortly. That game's on DAB and online. You can click on BBC Sounds on BBC Radio Shropshire and listen to that game if you do choose so. Of course, we'll be chatting to those guys at Telford, Scott Harris and Dean Craven, at half-time and at full-time in the verdict, where you can have your say on both of today's games. Get your calls booked in for that. 0808 100 96 96. Don't forget, you can also text. It's 81333. Start your message with the word Shrop, and of course we're on social media as well. It's just at BBC Shrop Sport. Make sure you have your say. We'd love to know your thoughts on both of today's games. Let's head over back to the New Books Head to get some final predictions ahead of their FA Cup game. Your commentary team of Scott Harris and Dean Craven there. Can we have some score predictions for today's FA Cup game?
I'm going to go 2-1, Mary Kate. I'm sticking with it. 2-1. I'm not changing. I've gone in. I was thinking a draw, but Coalville haven't drawn any games, and then I've gone, no, Telford will beat them today.
Well, if it is a draw, it'll go to a replay on Tuesday night.
Yeah,
so don't want to replay. You want to get it done now. Well,
yeah. Scott
Harris is your commentator today. Scott, let's have a score prediction.
I think there'll be lots of goals this afternoon. Coalville have been involved in every game. I think has had lots of goals for them so far this season. Telford, of course, didn't score on Monday, but prior to that, they've scored 10. In just 2 if you scrub Monday from the record. So I think Telford are going to win today. They're going to edge it in the final minute, a cup classic, 3-2.
Yeah, I like that, Scott. I like that.
Scott Harris predicting drama at the New Books Head ahead of kick-off today in the FA Cup first qualifying round.
It's been 91 days since Manchester City lifted the FA Cup at Wembley, and AFC Telford United begin their journey in this season's competition today. Welcome to the New Bucks Head, where you could say Telford are overdue a cup run. They have been dumped out by lower league opposition in each of the last 6 seasons. That won't happen today, as the draw for this first qualifying round tie couldn't have been much tougher for the Bucks. Coalville Town, who narrowly missed out on promotion last season, are the visitors, and they are one place above Telford in the early Southern League table. The Bucks haven't entered the competition as early as this since 2006 and are 4 ties away from a place in the first round in November. They last reached that stage back in 2017. Full match commentary to come with me, Scott Harris, and I'm joined alongside by the former Telford midfielder Dean Craven. And Dean, you were involved the last time the first qualifying round tie was played here back in 2006. Do you remember that one?
Sadly, Scott, I do. I couldn't wait to get going. It was against Hale's Home, wasn't it?
You were sent off, weren't you?
Sadly, I was. I was too pumped up, and I can still remember. It still hurts now, Scott. It's been 17 years. I can still feel how it was now. It was horrible.
You lost 4-2. I probably shouldn't have mentioned it. We can expect a close game here today.
I think so. I think there's going to be two good teams going at it today. I'm expecting an exciting game. I just hope, Scott, you've been good with your predictions. I hope you got that one right, 3-2. I'm hoping so. Last minute goal if this plays at the top will come off. So let's hope for an exciting game.
Well, let's go through the Bucks starting 11. Kevin Wilkin has made 2 changes to the side who shared a goal of straw with Hales Owen on Bank Holiday Monday. Jared Hodgkiss comes in for the injured captain Fraser Kerr. George Forsyth is replaced by Byron Moore, who returns from injury. So Brandon Hall will be in goal. A backline 3 of Orrin Pendley, Jared Hodgkiss and Steph Jones. Ellis Miles will be the right wing back. Tariq Youssef on the left side. A midfield 3 featuring Jordan Piggott, Byron Moore and Ty Webster, leading the line up top, Ricardo Dinanga and Montel Gibson. Substitutes for the Bucks: Brad Bood, Remy Walker, Billy West, Trey Mitford, James McQuilkin, and the reserve goalkeeper is George Scott. The visitors, Coalville, reached the first round proper of the FA Cup last season for only the second time, beaten 4-1 away at Charlton Athletic. The other occasion coming back in 2004, losing to Wickham in round 1 after starting their journey that season in the extra preliminary round. The Ravens have 9 points from their opening 6 league games. That is 1 more than Telford. Well, let's go through the Coalville line-up. They've made 1 change to the side who beat Barwell in the league on Bank Holiday Monday. Paul White, the goalkeeper, comes in for Jake Laban. It's a 3-5-2 for them. The back line of Jake Hutchins, Ash Carter and Elliot Putman. The right wing back will be Wes York. The left wing back Tom McGlinchey. In midfield, Herve Pepe Nagoma, Joe Doyle Charles and Luke Shaw, with Tim Berridge and Kieran Cook up top. Coalville narrowly missed out on promotion last season, losing in the playoffs after finishing level on points with Tamworth, who went up automatically and dramatically on the final day of the season. The manager, Adam Stevens, has begun his 6th season of his second spell in charge. He had 3.5 years away from the club with Grantham after 8 years leading Coalville the first time around. On the bench for them, Jake Laban, Alex Dean, Steve Towers, Terrell Pennant and Ash Chambers. We are underway here at the New Bucks Head. The referee is Harry Tarrant. Telford will be going from left to right in this first half. The Bucks playing in their white kit this afternoon. Coalville in their changed pink shirts, white shorts and pink socks. Telford have the ball early. We've had 20 seconds of play, and it was a good challenge from the pink shirt that just stopped Ricardo Dinanga from going through on goal. Coalville have it in the centre of the park. The weather in Telford has been dry and mostly sunny this morning and into the afternoon, temperatures reaching 20 degrees. And well, Dean Craven, it was disappointing for Telford to draw in a way against Hales Owen on Bank Holiday Monday. Just 1 point from those 6 available last weekend, but the FA Cup a new opportunity. Yeah,
I think the league is out the window today, Scott. It's all about today. It's all about the FA Cup. Forget form, forget anything to do with the league. Everyone's going to want to get through this round, and it's Telford really need it. They really, really need this today. Let's get the win.
Well, the ball just went out of play, but it's back in on this right side. Ellis Miles tries to find Jordan Piggott, who plays it into the centre, and it's headed clear, and it's going to be an early corner. We've had 90 seconds here on BBC Radio Shropshire, on digital radio and BBC Sounds. I'm Scott Harris, alongside me the former Telford midfielder Dean Craven. A good move from Montel Gibson there. It just allowed space on that right side. The ball came in from Jordan Piggott, and it's an early opportunity here. Byron Moore on this right side is going to float in the corner. Had 2 minutes of play on BBC Radio Shropshire. Telford with a corner then on this near side in front of the Frank Naggington stand. It's floated into the back stick. The header is there and it's saved, I think, by the goalkeeper. The post may have also had a role to play there. I think it was actually a fine save from Paul White in the Coalville Town goal. That was a good opportunity there.
Brilliant. I love that. I've watched the setup there. They're looking that they're all watching Penley because he's a big lad. They've just let Gibson just peel around the back. God, it was so unlucky. Great header, really good header. It was a real good set piece. They've obviously worked on in training. Unlucky that.
Yeah, it really opened up for Telford from that corner. Paul White, well, he was so close to the post. We couldn't tell from here whether it came off the post or whether he managed to get something to it. I think he got a hand to it.
Yeah.
But he had to get down low to make the stop, and well, that was very close for the Bucks. We've had 3 minutes here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Coalville have the ball over on that far side. They're running towards the byline and it's gone out of play. It will be a Telford throw, maybe a yard from the corner flag. And well, the fans have come out in big numbers, using their hands to shield their eyes from the sun over by the Learning Centre and on that Jack Bentley East Terrace. Very warm here today. Number of fans in the David Hutchison stand and in the main stand as well.
Do you think there's any chance, Scott, that we can change when it's like this and we can go the far end? Because the guys over there are in the sun, lovely weather, all with the sunglasses on, having a drink, and we're in the shade.
We're in the shade, we are, as the ball's played over on that far side. Now back towards halfway, and Telford will get a free kick here. It was Ricardo Dinanga who was tugged back, and Telford want to play this free kick quickly, but the referee just having a bit of a chat with Herve Pepe Ngoma, who's in the centre of the park today. Both sides playing a 3-5-2. If you've just joined us, we'll go through the teams. Brandon Hall in goal for Telford. Back three of Orin Pendley, Hodgkiss and Steph Jones. Ellis Miles, the right wing back. Tariq Youssef is on the left side. A midfield three of Byron Moore, Jordan Piggott and Ty Webster, with Montel Gibson and Ricardo Dinanga up front for the Bucks. The free kick is played forward from Brandon Hall over halfway to the right side of the penalty area. Chance here for Telford and Ty Webster, who's running backwards. She goes all the way back to halfway, finds Steph Jones, who goes back to his goalkeeper Brandon Hall. Telford will recycle and try the move again. It's played from left to right to this right side. Unlucky Ellis Miles, who does win a throw right in front of us in our commentary position, midway into the Coalville half. So Miles will have the throw, looking for options. Plays a 1-2. It's still Miles on this right side, but a loose pass from Miles, and Coalville win it back. A chance here for Kieran Cook to chase down the goalkeeper. He almost gets there. Brandon Hall looking a little bit nervous there, Dean Craven.
Yeah, no need to do that. Not this early in the game. He knows he's holding his hands up now, the keeper. Don't make any silly mistakes, because at the minute, we're not been playing. We're only playing 5 minutes, but Telford are well on top for these last 5 minutes. Don't do silly mistakes like that. Let's not see that again from the goalkeeper, Scott.
Yeah, a little bit nervous from Brandon Hall, but he coped well. He checked on his right foot and gave himself an extra second or two, which in the end he needed. Here's Montel Gibson, who's running backwards away from goal, midway into the half, finds Byron Moore, makes a run over on the left side, does Gibson. Youssef is on the left side in that wing-back position, links up with Ty Webster, who's in the middle of the park, goes back over halfway to the back line. Long balls played through. Montel Gibson tries to get his foot on it right close to the byline, but in the end there's an error from Coalville, who put the ball out for a throw about 5 yards from the corner flag.
A nice ball, you know, they're playing some nice short stuff and then mixing up really nice, Scott. You know, play a few short balls and then they hit that long one there. It was unlucky, Gibson there. His control needs to be a bit better, but Coalville looks a bit panicked. You know, really he should have tried to play out there, and he's just booted it straight out in the stand. So it's a good sign. We just need to score. Let's try and score early now when you're on top.
Still 0-0. We've had 6.5 minutes on BBC Radio Shropshire. Telford 0, Coalville 0. I'm Scott Harris. Dean Craven is alongside me as the ball is played into the penalty area and hacked away aimlessly by Coalville, who haven't settled well in this opening spell. Coalville come from Leicestershire to the northwest of the city of Leicester, located between Leicester and Burton-upon-Trent. Telford on the left side, approaching the penalty area, but it's cleared by Coalville. That back line of Jake Hutchins, Ash Carter and Elliot Putman. And it looks as if Tom McGlitchie is almost slipping into a back four at the moment there, but we'll keep an eye on that. It is a 3-5-2, we're told, with Wes York, the right wing back. Midfield three of Herve Pepe Ngoma, who is a centre-back by trade, but can play in that defensive midfield role. Joe Doyle-Charles and Luke Shaw. Tim Berridge, who scored a bag full of goals last season when they missed out on promotion, with Kieran Cook. Coalville have the ball over on the right side, and it was a looping cross that took a deflection, and Brandon Hall, I beg your pardon, was called into action and was forced to tip the ball over onto the roof of the net. So it will be a Coalville corner right in front of the Jack Bentley East Terrace.
Yeah, it was one of those deflections, Scott, wasn't it? That could have spun anywhere. That's where they've got to be careful. Telford have, you know, they're trying to. I'm watching their manager there, and as soon as Coalville got the ball again, he's trying to slow them down because he knows Telford are on him. Then they've just played a long, hopeful ball really, and they're getting a corner now. So there's got to be a little bit careful.
5 pink shirts in the penalty area. The referee, Harry Tarrant, is just having a chat with Byron Moore, who's marking Tim Berridge. The corner, we think, is going to be an in-swinger. It is to the back post, but it's beaten everyone far too deep, and it's gone out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I was watching the Coalville forward there. He's literally pushing the keeper over. It looks like a foul to me. He's even held his. I think the ref would have give it, I think, but that's definitely something they've been working on. They're literally right on his toes, but you can't do that. I'm surprised the ref didn't pull it up, but he's they've come to nothing. But I'm just hoping he's going to keep an eye on that, because it really put the keeper off a little, I felt.
Good marking from Byron Moore on Tim Berridge, the striker Tim Berridge, Ash Chambers and the midfielder Tom McGlitchie scored 49 goals between them last season. They will be the ones to watch. And Chambers is on the bench, but we probably do expect to see him. Telford have a chance. It's a loose ball. Is it cleared? It will be. The goalkeeper used his head as he sprinted forward to the D, cleared it, and the shot on goal was tame and went out wide.
He'd be disappointed with that, Piggott. That was a good chance. He was way off his line. I think he knows he should have took a touch out of his feet and just played it into that empty net, and he's tried it first time, and he's made a mess of it. That's a decent chance, but looking at the way they're playing, Coalville seem to be lacking pace at the back. They're definitely there to be got at. I think if we can get Webster on the ball as well, they seem to be struggling with him. There could be some real joy.
Well, Wes York has joined from Brackley, a player who Kevin Wilkin will know, and the centre half. Well, more on that in a moment. Telford have the ball on the halfway line, moving towards goal at some speed. In the middle of the park, Ty Webster has got options to the left and to the right, decides to go to the left with Tariq Youssef, edge of the penalty area, looking to swing a ball in, moves into the centre. Piggott's there. It's a poor ball from Youssef in the end, and the danger is gone. Coalville now looking to play a long ball to Luke Shaw. Telford with some defending to do. Shaw holds it up well, finds Tom McGlitchie, who tries to find a shot. In the end it comes back to Luke Shaw, played into the centre, edge of the D. The shot comes in, it's curled in and it's off the post. Joe Doyle-Charles, the captain from range, and he's hit the inside of the right hand post. Brandon Hall would have been beaten, and Telford right in there. Look, they still haven't got the danger away. It's back into the centre now with Joe Doyle-Charles, who's forced backwards to halfway. Excellent pressure from Byron Moore, but that was so close.
Yeah, I was watching that one, Scott. They've all gone back. The whole of the Telford team, defence and the midfield, dropped into the box. So then the number 8's picked it up, Joe Doyle picked it up. He got no anywhere near him. Someone, I'm hoping now they've seen what. They can't do that again. Someone has got to engage him, because you're letting him shoot from 25 yards out. No one anywhere near him. There's no point in defending and just dropping for the point of just dropping. There was about 8 of them at the back then, Scott, where they've got to have the defence, but someone's got to go to the ball. You know, that I'm hoping the manager would have seen that now, and he'll say, look, the midfield can't keep dropping into the back four. They've got to push out. That's the one chance that Coalville have had, but that should have been a goal, really. I'm not sure if the keeper saved that, you know. I'm not sure if he got something on it that's touched it onto the post.
Well, it definitely struck the post, but yeah, it did look as if Brandon Hall may have got something on that. But it was Joe Doyle-Charles, the captain, who had acres of space to wrap his right foot around the shot in the centre of the D and almost put the visitors in front. We've played 12.5 minutes. You're not missing anything at the moment.
I think that maybe comes, Scott, with the change, the captain. You know, the captain would have been, you know, push out. Someone's got to engage that ball. There's pointless all of us sitting back. Because I was literally looking along the line. I was thinking that you've got to go and engage. So I'm hoping that I've seen the managers talking to a few of them now, and I think he'll say, look, you've got to go and engage him, because Telford have been way on top here, and they're really struggling with Webster. They're really struggling with him. It's the big centre midfielder. He just hasn't got the pace to stay with him.
Montel Gibson went off briefly for some treatment, but he's back on the pitch now. So Telford back to 11 players. Brandon Hall plays the ball into the middle of the park. Telford running towards goal. Jordan Piggott with his foot on it. He's got options to his right and picks out Ellis Miles on this near side. Miles decides to go back to Orrin Pendley, who searches out a running Montel Gibson, but it's not the best of balls from Pendley, who played really well against Hales Owen.
It wasn't a good ball, Scott, but the one thing I'll say is, especially on a day like today, is it a big diagonal? Go and make it into a good ball. Someone sprint. The keeper has gone nearly onto the touchline and just nice and easily just brought it back into his box. Now, what if someone would have sprinted, try and get that ball, and he kicks it out, or he get a deflection? You've got to go and sometimes make these bad balls into good balls.
We've had two really good chances so far in the opening 14 minutes. Jordan Piggott probably had a half chance. He didn't expect the goalkeeper to clear the ball with his head. He found the ball at his feet. The keeper was off his line, but well, Piggott just made a mess of the shot and it went wide of the post. No real danger there. And then just a few moments ago, Joe Doyle-Charles hit the post for the visitors, Coalville Town. They didn't close him down. He had a free shot almost from the edge of the D and hit the post. That's a late challenge from Joe Doyle-Charles over on that far side, right on halfway in front of the dugout. Kevin Wilkin had the best view of anyone. It was right at his feet. And I think it's Byron Moore who is down. He looks hurt. He hasn't got up yet here. The referee says play on. Here comes Coalville, who are across halfway. Shot comes from range, and it was Luke Shaw in the middle of the park. Referee was just glancing over at Byron Moore, who is back on his feet now. But there was a deflection and the ball goes up to Brandon Hall in the Telford goal. And that will be a concern with Byron Moore going down, because he's only just returned from injury. Yeah, definitely. It's the only thing I'm thinking here, Scott, to only put a little negative on, and you know how much I think of Webster. I think he's a hell of a player, but he's got to do the defensive side. I'm watching him at times and he's forgetting what's going on behind him, and that is my worry for the midfield at the moment. You know, Coalville have come into the game a little bit. They seem to have settled down. Telford look good when they're passing the ball on the floor. As soon as they start hitting these long balls, it doesn't work for them. I don't know why they keep trying it. It will, you know, don't get me wrong, you've got to mix it up. You have got to mix it up, but at the moment I want to see Telford settle down again, because they were well on top at the start. High ball over halfway. Gibson chests it down to the feet of Ricardo Dinanga. Dinanga plays it to Webster on the right side. The cross comes in. Gibson was there, but it got it all wrong with his head. It went off the back of his head in the end. And it will be a goal kick. But a nice move on this right channel.
Brilliant play from Webster. Absolutely. But he sent the fullback for a kebab, didn't he, Scott? He literally, he's completely out of the game. He's gone past him. I really like Webster. I just want to see him on the ball doing that. Absolutely brilliant play. But there was only one person in the box, one short. I'd like to see another midfielder try and get in the box. I know today they're going to be a little bit tentative. They don't want to get hit on the break. I get that. But that's, you know, he's driving into the box there. People have got to break their neck to try and get in there and get another goal. It was one game. It was Piggott, actually. Do you remember that, Scott? When he got into it was an absolute brilliant finish. I'd just like to see him commit a few more people in. But it's good play. Really, really good play by Webster to get him on the ball.
Well, we're almost in the 18th minute. Still 0-0 here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Telford 0, Coalville 0 in the FA Cup first qualifying round. Coalville, a town famous for coal mining, as you'd expect, until the 1980s. Have a big clock tower in the main Memorial Square. The town most famous for making Action Man and Star Wars figures until 1994 when the factory was closed down. Coalville, the 148th different team the Bucks have played since 2004. There's a stoppage in play here. There is a Telford player down. And is it Webster?
Yeah, it's Webster. It's not been a bad start to the game, really, Scott. Both teams now have tried to play a bit of football. Both teams have had good chances. So we're only 17 minutes in, so it'd be nice to get a goal.
Well, Coalville had the best away record in the division last season. They won 14 of their 21 on the road. They only lost 4 times. And good to see the Telford supporters, the faithful, out in good numbers. The weather here today, it's summer-like, 20 degrees, sunshine, a few clouds in the sky, but perfect conditions for football, Dean.
Oh yeah, everyone wants to be out. I want to be out there. Everyone wants to be out playing football today in this lovely sunshine, and what a day for it. The book said it'll be jumping. Telford get a goal, I think it'll be jumping in here.
Back underway then, and Pendley plays a long ball again. Tries to pick out Montel Gibson, who made a run, but it will be a goal kick to the side in pink, Coalville Town.
I like Pendley. He's a brilliant defender. He really is. But I think at times he just needs to just pass it short, give it someone else who's not to be disrespectful of him, but someone that's better on the ball. There's too many times now he's kicking the ball and it's just going out, and you just lose the tempo.
Yes, guilty of losing possession. I mean, if you pick out your man and you find him, it's okay, but at the moment today he's not doing that. The ball is on halfway. Gibson is wrestling for the ball but loses out. It goes back to Pendley, plays it to halfway. Chance for Coalville to explore an avenue on this left side with Luke Shaw. He's picked off though by Ellis Miles, who's running into the centre of the park. He links up with Webster, who's pushed over. The supporters in front of us furious. Surely a foul on Ty Webster, but the referee says play on. What did you see of that, Dean?
No, it was nothing. That wasn't a foul. I think the referee's got that spot on. But it was nice to see the midfielder Telford sprint, a bit like what Liverpool do when they lose the ball, sprint and try and get it back, because I think at times Telford just jog, and I think they need to be sprinting, because Coalville, looking at them at the moment, are nothing special, Scott. They're there to be beat today.
Well, Pendley this time trying to link up with Dinanga with a long ball on this right side. But again, it goes into the arms of the goalkeeper, Paul White, who's back in the side. The 28-year-old Irishman, he was a Cork City youth player, had spells with Forest Green when they were in the National League, and Accrington when they were in the Football League, spells at Kettering, Hereford, and signed last summer. Coalville have the ball on this left side, moving into the centre. Luke Shaw linking up with Kieran Cook, the big number 19, playing up top today, but loses out. The ball's back on halfway with Montel Gibson, who doesn't have many options, but he's found Byron Moore, who's running towards goal now at some speed. He's got options to the right with Ty Webster. Moore running into the right corner, finds Webster, who twists and turns, does a 360, looking to arrow a ball into the penalty area, lays it off to Ellis Miles, who has options. Byron Moore with the cross. It's a good cross, a good header, and it's wide. And it was Montel Gibson at that back stick, who just couldn't quite get his posture into the right position. He got his head to it, Dean, but it just looked a bit awkward.
Yeah, he's given a free kick. It was. Gibson's given him a good shove there, but it's good play. Get down. There's definitely they're there to be taken, Coalville. We can get the ball down and play. I really would like to see Miles push on a little bit at times. He's sitting too deep, and if they're matching them up, so they're the same 3-5-2. you're only playing against your wing back. So push right onto him, let him have too much of the ball, the 11. You know, he's getting a little bit of the ball. He's nothing special. I really want to see Miles take him the other way instead of defending all the time.
Well, into the 23rd minute here on BBC Radio Shropshire, still goalless in the FA Cup, the first qualifying round. And it's the first time that Telford have entered the FA Cup at this stage since 2006. And as we mentioned, we discovered that was the game that Dean Craven was sent off for the only time in your career, Dean, wasn't it?
You've got to stop reminding me, Scott. It still hurts. Yeah, I'm hurting it. I'm still thinking about it.
Still 0-0 then. Coalville have the ball on halfway with Tim Berridge, who's very deep, finds Joe Doyle-Charles, who has the ponytail. It's tied up into a bun. And another late challenge over on that far side. And I think it was Kieran Cook who went in on Tariq Youssef, and it will be a free kick, but no card.
No, nothing really there, Scott. It's a foul, but they've done it a couple of times, Coalville, hacked away. I think he's had a couple now, so I was thinking one more and they'd be in the book.
Well, defensively, no errors on Monday. Clean sheet. Their third consecutive clean sheet, which they hadn't matched since 2016. They faced a bombardment of pressure from Hales Owen on Bank Holiday Monday. The ball is floated across halfway by Brandon Hall, flicked on into the penalty area, hacked away by Tom McGlinchey in that left back position. Is the left wing back this afternoon. Will be a Telford throw, almost level with the edge of the penalty area. Ty Webster with Ellis Miles, who's made a run, decides to not commit to the throw, and big strong Gorin Pendley with the throw, tries to pick out Dinanga, but Coalville clear. Coalville look to break over halfway, but Byron Moore comes back and falls over. That's not going to do him any good. Goes in with a rush challenge after finding his feet, and he's conceded a free kick. So Coalville will have a free kick probably about 10 yards from the touchline, midway into the Telford half. This is going to be swung in to the edge of the D, maybe the penalty spot, and I think it's going to be Tom McGlinchey who will try to curl this in. Potentially a moment of danger here.
Yeah, Hodges got to be tight, Scott. You know, he's a yard off and he's letting him turn on the halfway line. That should not be happening. He should be right behind him, pushing back to his own goal. He's literally caught it on his chest and turned round.
Swung into the penalty area. It's a good header, and it's over the bar from Kieran Cook, who was marked. Pendley was there, but he got ahead to it, and it was a whisker over the crossbar.
Yeah, silly things. We're doing some silly stuff at the moment, Telford. You're letting chances. That's what costs you games. You know, little silly. You know, the centre forward's caught on his chest, turn round, and then we've had to, you know, hack him down. Whereas if we just kept him going back to his goal, he's got a problem. We're doing loads of little silly things, like a bit like the midfield, sitting right on the back four. They've got to push on. I'm sure the manager will be on to him, don't get me wrong. You know, and Telford, I've got a chance.
Chance here for Telford. Piggott, but he's blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Had lots of space and maybe had a little bit more time. But Jordan Piggott, who tried to poke that one at goal, and it's blocked out for a throw. Throw taken quickly then by Ellis Miles on this right side into the middle of the park. Ty Webster, who's forced backwards to halfway. Chance here for Telford to pick out Montel Gibson, but the ball is too deep and into the arms of Paul White.
Again, it's that long ball too many times. You know, Telford looks so much better. Get the ball. They've got good ball players. Webster, Piggott, Moore that can play, and obviously the guys up front, you know, they can play. Stop hitting these hopeless balls, especially at the moment where we just need to just calm down, get playing again like we did in the first 10 minutes, and just get hold of the ball and get a bit of play going. Because at the moment we're giving the ball back too easy.
Jordan Piggott is in the middle of the park for Telford in that midfield with Byron Moore and Ty Webster. Tariq Youssef, the left wing back this afternoon, with Ellis Miles over on the right side. Pendley Hodgkiss, who's come in for the injured Fraser Kerr, the captain. And Steph Jones. That back three. Montel Gibson, Ricardo Dinanga up front. Dinanga looked to get on the end of a long ball, misses out, but the ball is ricocheted. Dinanga uses his body, but it will be a Coalville throw midway into their half. They're looking to play it down the line.
A lot better from Miles Scott, wasn't it? He pushed right on and squeezed him into the state. I tell you what, he got away with one there, the centre half did. He's tried to play it really unlucky, that was. Really, really unlucky.
It's a long throw, and the ball is, well, collected calmly by Brandon Hall, but for a moment he was tangled, and it's the first yellow card of the afternoon. And it is Kieran Cook. What did you see of that, Dean?
Yeah, it was just silly. It was silly. I don't know what he was trying there. And it's the same lad that hacked away up there, so he had to go in the book. Just looking at that, Scott, at times, you think sometimes these long balls that they're playing, is that a confidence thing, do you think? That they're like, you know, they don't want to make a mistake, things aren't flowing like they've liked, so they've sort of took the easy option of playing it long, do you think?
Well, Telford don't have that winning habit at the moment. Sadly, it has been a mixed start to the season. But I think you might be right. The errors at Leiston and at Barwell, perhaps just in the back of their minds, Kevin Wilkin will have drilled it into them about not to concede early. They haven't conceded at home, has to be said. This is their fourth home game of the season. They've had 3 in the league. This is the FA Cup, remember. So maybe just a few jitters. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the second half, if they can warm up and just get that confidence flowing.
Yeah, well, you know, we're talking about it. Coalville are just exactly the same. He just got it, smashed it. It's gone straight back through to the keeper. So Telford have got the ball now. So I just like to see us keep it a bit better. You know, I understand the confidence and that. You know, it's definitely something that, you know, they don't want to make a mistake. No one does, but we still got to be brave. Try and play out a little bit, because Telford look much the better team when they play the ball on the floor.
Steph Jones lively on the left side, looks to take the ball over halfway. Webster has it on the halfway line. Good marking from Herve Pepe Ngoma, who wins the ball in the centre circle, but Byron Moore goes sliding in and wins it back. Dinanga is pulled back but stays on his feet. Here comes Ricardo Dinanga, right corner of the penalty area. Ellis Miles now running towards the byline. Will he get a cross in? Well, it hits the face of Pepe Ngoma, the pink shirt that tracked back. He did ever so well to catch up with Ellis Miles, and Telford have earned themselves another corner.
Great bit of play that was. Put a couple of passes in. They've definitely got the beat of the back four. Definitely 100%. That's what happens when they play the ball on the floor. I don't know why they keep trying these long balls. I really don't, because Telford have got a load of footballers out there that are comfortable on the ball. Just get the ball on the floor and play.
What can they do from this corner? It's Byron Moore on this near side in front of the Frank Naggington stand. Looks like it's going to be an out swinger. There's only Ricardo Dinanga who's on the goal line. He's been marked. It's low. It's to Montel Gibson, who doesn't get his foot onto it. He left it for Ty Webster, but the referee has spotted an infringement, and it will be a free kick.
Nice idea, wasn't it?
It was.
Another thing that they've obviously done the training game. Real nice idea. I noticed about Gibson, he's very, very good in the air. Really strong in the air for someone. He's only, what you say, he's 5'10", Scott? 5'11". He wins every single header.
Yes, he is shorter, let's say, than your average number 9, but very useful in the air, and he can jump high. And it was a dummy from him. He left it for Ty Webster, but Coalville closed him down just as he was about to pull the trigger.
Yeah, it was a good bit of play. I'd like to see Gibson. It was a great bit. Everyone's gone in the box. They pulled it back to him. But I just love to see Gibson make that sprint into that 6-yard box, because no one seems to be marking him, and get a header, because he's really strong in the air.
Still goalless in our other game. It's Carlisle 0, Shrewsbury 0. That's over on 96 FM. BBC Radio Shropshire. I'm Scott Harris, Dean Craven alongside me. A sunny September Saturday here, 20 degrees at the New Bucks Head. Telford looking to get themselves into the second qualifying round of the FA Cup with a win here. They do not want a replay on Tuesday night, but that's what it would be. No extra time this afternoon, no penalties. It would be a replay on Tuesday. Coalville have the ball with the very tall and skillful Joe Doyle-Charles, who perhaps has gone closest to opening the scoring in this cup tie. His effort on 10 minutes, well, he curled the shot from the edge of the D around onto the left-hand post of Brandon Hall, who we think got something on it and just did enough to push it onto the post. Telford haven't had much in the way of goalmouth excitement. Jordan Piggott found himself with a snapshot. That was early doors after about 5 minutes, but the goalkeeper, who was off his line, didn't have to worry because the shot was wide. Other than that, we haven't had much at all. There was a header that was just a whisker over the bar for the visitors as well, but I think Brandon Hall would have had that covered all day long. So Coalville have the ball, level with the edge of the penalty area, moving towards goal. They are penned in over in the left back position for Telford. Jordan Piggott's come out to help out his colleagues. So has Tariq Youssef, who's in that left wing back position this afternoon. And it will be a goal kick.
It was wild, Scott, wasn't it? You know, he's literally just booted that straight over the stand. That's somewhere in Wellington, that ball is. Someone's got a nice souvenir for later.
Not the best finish there. And what have we had? Well, 33 minutes gone, and it's still goalless. A difficult one to call this on paper. Coalville beat Barwell 3-1 last weekend in the league and lost to Royston 2-0. Telford beat Royston on the opening day, but lost to Barwell by the same scoreline, 3-1, on Saturday. So, well, I can't really read too much into the form guide in the Southern Central Premier Division, but it's been close so far. We've had 34 minutes now. Paul White will play the ball over halfway. They're going from our right to left as we see it here at the New Bucks Head. Tries to pick out Tom McGlinchey on that left side and does get a throw. It came off Ellis Miles, who tracked back to win the ball. So Coalville moving up the field, level with the edge of the penalty area on this left side, looking to get a cross in. A shot! Oh, that was close. That was really close. Brandon Hall, who got down to his right side and palmed the ball around the post. That was quite a strike from Tim Berridge.
Yeah, it's a good bit of play by Coalville. Great strike. The keeper, you'd expect him to save it, Scott, you would, but it was still a good save. Telford need to get going here because Coalville at the moment are on top.
They've got a corner in front of the David Hutchison stand on this near side. It's floated towards the right corner of the penalty area, headed back towards goal, but Brandon Hall was wide awake there, and it's straight into his arms, and the Bucks can reset and push forward over halfway.
They've definitely looked at that, Scott. You know, you say about the forward keeps going towards the keeper. They're doing it because they don't want him to play early, and he is looking to play early. He's got to get onto the ref really, because they can't keep standing in front of him. You know, he can't do that. So I think the goalkeeper's got to, you know, sort of say to ref, because that was a perfect. And he looked, Denanga was in. He's one-on-one from the goal kick, but they wouldn't let him play it. So there's definitely something they've looked at, Coalville.
Yellow card for the visitor, Steph Jones, who had the ball rolled to his feet on that left side. He sprinted forward over halfway and was, well, it's a cynical foul. He was pushed over. Just trying to see who's gone into the book there. We'll find out when it's confirmed in about. I think it might be. Was it Tim Berridge?
Yeah, I think so, Scott. Yeah.
So he's gone into the book.
That's two of them now, isn't it? So they've got to keep. They are doing that a lot. I just want to see Youssef on the ball. You know, we've not said his name the whole half.
Hasn't had much service. Montel Gibson wins the header deep in the penalty area, but no one's there to support. It's booted all the way back to Brandon Hall. Plays a delicate chip. Ball's on halfway, but will Telford give it away to Joe Doyle Charles, who distributes it to the, well, tries to distribute it to the left side. But Ellis Miles was there, and it's back to Brandon Hall. Here's Dinanga. He skipped past two players, but won't get past the third. Dinanga, who ran into traffic in the left back position for Coalville, who clear their line. They go around their back three. Long ball is floated up towards Kieran Cook, who doesn't get there. Good play from Stephen Jones over on that far side. Very good with the ball at his feet. He was in a spot of bother there, but just used all the space on the pitch to cleared the danger. Telford come again then. Pendley tries to play in Ricardo Dinanga on the inside right channel. He was making a run to the right corner of the penalty area, but the ball had too much on it, and it's into the feet of Paul White.
It's got a bit scrappy. You know, either team at the moment are trying to play a bit of football. It's a shame because the first 20 minutes, both teams look to play a bit of football. At the moment, everyone's just playing it long, and it's headed, and they're into a fight every time. I just want to see them get the ball on the floor. It's something we keep saying, Scott. You know, we want to see them on the floor because Telford look really good when they get playing. They've got some really good footballers. We're not speaking enough about Dinanga. We're not speaking enough about Webster. And in fairness to them, the ball is round the head. That's why we're not speaking about them. You know, they've got to get on the floor, get these players on the ball, get them running at the defence of Coalville, because they do look a bit shaky at the back.
Yeah, Telford haven't carved out much in the way of chances on goal in this first half. We've played 37 minutes, still 0-0 in this FA Cup first qualifying round cup tie. Chance here for Coalville, who are moving to the left corner of the penalty area. The ball going backwards though, good pressure applied from Byron Moore, who tracks his man. They play it square to Joe Doyle-Charles, who's in that central role this afternoon. Over on the right side now as they look to turn the screw Coalville, but they make a mess of that. Telford don't do much better with the clearance. It's hacked away, and it will be a throw for the visitors, level with the edge of their own penalty area on this near side.
They're on scraps a little bit, the two forwards, I feel for them. You know, they have. I give Gibson his due. You know, he's one for. I feel that he could work harder, but today he has thrown himself about, and he is on scraps. Here's
Webster plays it square to the left side with Tariq Youssef, who's trying to fight his way around two defenders, and he gives the ball away loosely. Chance now for Coalville with Luke Shaw in the middle, moving towards goal with some pace here. Tim Berridge, the left side of the penalty area, edge of the penalty area, played to the centre. Joe Doyle-Charles now slips over, and it's Youssef who picks him off and finds Dinanga, who's made a run on the left side. Montel Gibson's waiting in the penalty area. Dinanga still with the ball into the penalty area. Still Dinanga is pushed over, and the referee waves away the appeals. It looked as if Dinanga was pushed over there for a penalty, but the referee says no.
No, it's not a pen. It's not a pen. It was great play by Dinanga. It really was good play. He's got into the box. I think he was looking for it, really. But the other thing that worries me is Coalville had six players then sprinted back. Telford were less with just Dinanga and Gibson up front. Someone from midfield has got to make it, because if they could sprint in late there, no one was marking them.
You want someone like Webster, don't you, to join the convoy of attack. And Dinanga, for him to score, it would have taken a very special effort, and the line was blocked to Montel Gibson. Here's Ellis Miles on the right side. He has found Dinanga in the penalty area. Gibson wide. Gibson had the ball at his feet in the penalty area, free shot at goal, and he tried to toe poke it into the left corner of the net, and it's gone agonisingly wide of the right hand post of Paul White, who will be a very relieved man indeed. Close.
Best chance of the game. Absolutely great bit of football. I love that little back heel. That was something you'd watch on Match of the Day again. You know, it's lovely little chip into Dinanga, held it up, Gibson run round him, little back heel. Again, they're there to be had, Coalville. I just want someone to grab this game by the scruff of the neck and go, I'm going to be a hero today. I'm going to score, or I'm going to do something to make someone else score, because Coalville are there to be beaten.
He must have been about 8 yards out, Montel Gibson, and he will wake up in the night in a sweat, having nightmares about that miss, because it was on a plate for him. Can he make amends now? Here's Gibson running at the Coalville defenders, who get a foot in and block the ball. Looks as if they will come away with it on halfway. They don't look too comfortable in possession, Coalville. They give it away. It's a real mess on this near side. They come away with it with Kieran Cook, who's come all the way back into his own half. He's sprinting back up to the top line. Coalville looking to play in Tim Berridge, who, well, he scored an absolute bag full of goals last season and was partly responsible why they finished where they did.
It's a nice bit of play that was, Scott, really, when you look at it. I was watching the manager. He's getting them to sprint out to Coalville because they don't look comfortable on the ball whatsoever. and instead of them jogging like they have been, you had Webster sprinting, you had Piggott sprinting, and Coalville just give the ball away. So if they can keep doing that, I know it's hot and it's hard to keep doing it, but if they can keep doing it, Telford could get themselves something from this game.
Well, best chance of the first half has to go down to Montel Gibson. Ball at his feet in the penalty area, 8 yards from goal. Tried to steer it with his right foot around the goalkeeper into the corner of the net, but it was wide of the target.
He's a cool finisher as well, Scott. You know, you'd fancy him there. He's not, 5-6 yards out. He could have even took a touch, and he sort of tried to hit it with the outside of his foot. Even a toe point might have got that one. It's a real shame, because you really fancy. A great chance that is. You can't miss them. You can't miss them chances.
Yeah, he tried to curl it with the outside of his right boot, and well, it agonisingly wide. You expected the net to bulge. Byron Moore plays the ball to halfway, picks off Dinanga, who's got lots of pace on this side. Joe Doyle-Charles has gone back with him. Dinanga loses the ball on this right side and fouls the number 8.
He's got to do better there, Dinanga. He's drawn 4 of the players to him. Webster's telling him at the moment, all he has to do is come out, keep hold of the ball. You know, it's going to be very hard. He has got it in him to take on 4 players, don't get me wrong, but you've got good position there. Just turn out and keep the ball. You know, they're straight back on you again. A little bit. Telford remind me at times do some real immature things that you know a top team doesn't do. You know, you've got into good possession, you're in the Coalville's half, and you're trying to take on 4 players. Not very. Try that in the box. One of them might hack you down, but in that position there, just get the ball and keep hold of it.
Well, Shifnal are away at Nantwich in the first qualifying round of the FA Cup this afternoon. They were 1-0 up, Josh Thomas, but the hosts have got it back to 1-1 from the penalty spot. We'll keep you up to date with that one this afternoon as Shifnal look to put themselves into the hat for the second qualifying round. The draw will take place on Monday. If it stays the same, it will be a replay at Shifnal on Tuesday. And if it stays the same here, it will be a replay on Tuesday night.
That'd be a good one, Scott, wouldn't it?
Well, still
both
a long way
through.
to go.
Shifnal and Telford go through, and Telford Shifnal in the next round. That'd be a good one to see.
It would be a great tie, wouldn't it? Two Shropshire clubs going at it in the FA Cup this season. Still 0-0 here. We are, well, a minute away from stoppage time at the end of the first half. No goals if you've just joined us. Telford 0, Coalville 0. Montel Gibson with the best opportunity about 4 minutes ago. The 40th minute. Didn't take it. Coalville have had a few chances themselves. Joe Doyle-Charles hit the post, and Kieran Cook with an effort. There's another effort there from the visitors, but it's hardly worth mentioning. It was like a scissor kick, and it's gone high over the crossbar. No danger whatsoever for Brandon Hall.
No, he's trying for a worldie, isn't he, Scott? No, that's 1 in 100 shot that was going to come off. I think his manager didn't look very happy there at all that he's took that on, because he's in a nice position really to get him playing again. So it's been a bit scrappy, hasn't it? Been like there's nothing really in it. I just feel like someone's got a little bit of brilliance, a little bit of something clever, or a worldie. But at the moment, it's a bit of a stalemate.
Just needs a moment of FA Cup magic, and it almost fell to Montel Gibson to break the deadlock a few minutes ago, but not to be. He'll be supercharged for the second half, I'm sure. He will be reliving that one.
Miles is way too deep. Look, he's letting him turn and run out. He's got to be close. He's only a wing back versus wing back. Why sit back as a right back when you're playing wing back? You might as well push right onto this 11, stop him running at him.
It was a good ball forward from Jared Hodgkiss, the captain this afternoon, who's come in for Fraser Kerr. Plays the ball through the centre of midfield. Gibson is pushed over by Jay Cutchins, and I think Joe Doyle-Charles is trying to appeal to the referee on behalf of his colleague, but it'll be a lost cause, because that is a yellow card, the third for Coalville Town in this first half, and this time it's Jay Cutchins who's going into the book. Again, it was a blatant push on Montel Gibson, who had the ball at his feet. Well, must have been about 15 yards from the edge of the penalty area.
Is that 4 of them in the book now, Scott?
Oh, it could be 4. I've lost count. There's been a litter of yellow cards for the visitors in this first half. BBC Radio Shropshire into stoppage time. I haven't seen a board go up, but I'll make it that we've had 90 seconds of stoppage time already. But Telford will have a free kick here, the left side of the penalty area, a good 35 yards out. It's going to be a shot at goal. It's drilled low and it comes off the arm, I think, of Joe Doyle-Charles, the captain. As Jordan Piggott with that free kick. Yusuf tries to find Jones over on that far side. Back to Yusuf, who's the left wing back this afternoon. He slips over, almost finds Dinanga, but well, he lost his footing, did Yusuf, over on that far side, and it's out for a throw right on the halfway line.
He did. But Dinanga, Scott, I know it's not a great ball. Danganga's got to make something. He's in the box. If he can pinch something there, he might hack him down. He's got to do more. I'd like to see them both. Miles got to push on. You know, the both wing backs got to push on. They're one-on-one, really. When you're playing wing back against wing back, you're one-on-one. So going at the moment, we're being pushed back too much, and you're sort of playing like defensive. They've got to push on a bit because I think they've got the beating of them.
We're into the third added minute of stoppage time, and Kieran Cook has gone down, but the referee's had enough, and he blows for the interval. Half-time here at the New Bucks Head in the FA Cup first qualifying round. Montel Gibson with the best opportunity on 40 minutes, but his shot was wide of the left post. He tried to curl it with the outside of his boot, and the keeper would have been beaten, but Gibson missed the target. Doyle-Charles had an effort off the post on 10 minutes for the visitors. Kieran Cook with a header that went over the crossbar, and early doors Jordan Piggott, his shot was tame and didn't trouble Paul White in the Coalville Town goal. But it's half-time here, second half commentary to come. It's the FA Cup first qualifying round, and it's Telford 0, Coalville 0.
Our other featured game is AFC Telford's first qualifying round FA Cup game against Coalville Town. Your commentary team there are Scott Harris and Dean Craven. Dean, nothing doing in the first half, goalless still?
No, there is a lot doing, Mary Kate. There's a lot doing, really. Telford should, Gibson you'd fancy in there. It was the old-fashioned toe point that would have got him a goal 6 yards out. He tried like a outside of the foot. I don't know what he was trying. I'm not sure he got in two minds, but you'd fancy him there. It was an easy finish. The other one, Coalville's shot, it's a beautiful shot. I actually think the keeper saves it. I think he gets something on it, plays it onto the post. And there was half a chances. Piggott's one, the ball's come out, the keeper's miles out of his box. He's got to take a touch and just play it into an empty net. So there has been a few chances, good chances as well. Just, it's one of those that there's confidence. Massively, Telford look like they're lacking confidence. But they're still well in this. There's nothing really. But I'd actually say Coalville have had probably more of the ball, but the best chances have been Telford's. Gibson's got to score. 9 times out of 10, well, I'd say more than that, 99 times out of 100, that's a goal. He can't miss those. So it's been quite entertaining at times when both teams have got out and played the ball on the floor. You just need a hero. Today, Scott said it at the top, FA Cup fever, and you just need that little, someone needs to be a hero today. I'd love to be out there. What I'd give to be out there playing in this. It's what a day. Go and be a hero. Someone. Ty Webster I'm going for. I'm hoping he might be the hero. But I'm putting him out there a little bit because he's only 17, the poor lad. But I just feel that him, Dinanga, they are causing him a lot of trouble. If they can keep doing it, keep getting the ball on the floor, keep doing what they're doing at times, try a little bit harder. I think Mary Kate, when they've got into the box, Telford, it's been the two forwards. Someone from midfield has got to make, remember, like Frank Lampard, he'd always, he'd get you 15 goals because he's getting to the box, whereas Telford at the moment are not getting in the box enough from midfield.
So more confidence in the second half, hoping to see from Telford. Have they had, the better of the chances? Are they looking likely to score, or is it? Do you think what your thoughts going into the second half?
No, they're likely to score. We keep saying it. The two chances he's had, Piggott's was not as easy as Gibson's. Don't get me wrong, but you should still be scoring. You should still be scoring. Whereas Gibson's is a gimme. It's a gimme. He'll know that. But to be fair to Gibson, he's worked ever so hard. He's been on scraps most of the game. and he might be that he was tired. It's a bit of a tired effort, maybe. It's hot out there, looking out there at the moment. At times it's been slow, the game has. So no, I still think there's going to be a goal in here. I really do. There could be a couple of goals. So, but they just got to believe, be brave, get on the ball, and something will come, because Telford are a better side than Coalville for me.
Well, can Telford find a breakthrough in the second half? You'll find out on DAB and online with second half commentary of AFC Telford versus Coalville. Just a reminder, if that game does remain goalless, there will be a replay, which we believe will be on Tuesday night in the first qualifying round of the FA Cup.
Welcome back to the New Bucks Head, where we're just waiting to start the second half here. It's AFC Telford United 0, Coalville Town 0. I'm Scott Harris on digital radio and BBC Sounds, alongside me Dean Craven. Just looking at the half-time stats, Dean. 4 shots each, both sides with a shot on target, both sides with 2 corners, but the possession, Coalville shading it 55 to 45.
Yeah.
It's about right, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Scott. But the one thing it hasn't got in your stats there, Telford have had the better chances. So there's been not a great deal in it. But, you know, you look at Coalville's chances, should they have been pretty much a guaranteed goal? Not really. They were great, you know, they could be goals. You know, we all know he's got to score, you know. Moore has got to score that goal. The best chance by far of the game. Telford should be 1-0 up. But yeah, there's not an awful lot in it. There isn't.
Well, that was the shot on target. Montel Gibson, 5 minutes before the break. He was 8 yards from goal and tried to, steer the ball with the outside of his boot past Paul White in the Coalville goal. Not to be.
He should have either used his left foot, or what I would have done under it. I'm not saying I would have scored. I probably would have missed as well. But
you might have got sent off.
It was a toe poke. You know, the old-fashioned toe poke. Just toe put it in your 8. You know, just toe put it in the goal. Don't try this outside of the foot. You know, he didn't need to do that, but. No, he scored lots of goals, so he'd be really disappointed with that one.
Just to set the context there, Dean was sent off in the last game that Telford played in the first qualifying round was way back in 2006, and it wasn't a straight red, was it, for you?
No, it was worse than that. Oh no, it was. It was
a straight red.
I had a really bad yellow card in about the first 5 minutes. I remember sprinting, and I just thought, that ball's mine, and I've just took everything, including the grass. It was a bad tackle, could have been a red. It was awful. I don't know what happened. I just got completely carried away with the FA Cup, and then the next, I think it was about 10 minutes after that, the ball is flying in the top corner, and like an idiot, I thought I was Grobbelaar, and jumped up into the top corner and saved it, and it was a straight red. So it was a really bad day, and it, like I said before, it still hurts, Scott.
There's goals galore on that day back in 2006. Telford lost 4-2.
It was my fault for getting sent off. Do you want to bring that bit up as well?
Well, goalless here if you have just joined us for the second half. Montel Gibson with that the best chance of the opening 45 minutes. Joe Doyle-Charles hit the post, but we think that Brandon Hall got something to it, tipped it onto the post. That was after 10 minutes. Jordan Piggott had a snapshot early on in that first half, and Kieran Cook had a header that went over the crossbar, but that's probably been your lot in terms of goalmouth excitement. Just waiting for the players who have trudged out. No real need to get underway anytime soon. The backroom staff and Kevin Wilkin just trotting over to the dugouts for Trevor on the far side. They are basking in sunshine here at the New Bucks Head. It's a sunny September Saturday, over 20 degrees. The supporters here, I reckon there's at least 1,100. We'll wait for the official capacity to be announced. A few travelling fans with the Coalville Town flag to our right side in the Frank Naggington stand. At least maybe 35 to 40 travelling supporters. There's a few over on the right side of where we are in our commentary position. Still no real urgency to get underway. The referee, Harry Tarrant, is just urging all of the management staff to get off the pitch. so that we can get underway. Telford will be going from our right to left in this second half. Coalville playing in their changed away kit of pink shirts, white shorts and pink socks. Telford in their familiar home kit of white shirts, black shorts and black socks. I don't think there's been any changes at half time. We'll try and play Spot the Substitute in a moment. Dean's just having a look around. I think it's as we were at the start of the first half. Back underway then on BBC Radio Shropshire. It is Telford 0, Coalville 0 in this first qualifying round of the FA Cup. Shifnal at Nantwich, Paul Carden's Nantwich this afternoon, and we're hearing it's 1-1. So that would be a replay down at Shifnal on Tuesday if it was to stay the same. Still a lot of football to play in this second half. Just got underway for 30 seconds. Ball's gone out of play. It will be a goal kick to the visitors, Coalville. Paul White plays it deep and long. Telford pick up the ball on the halfway line with Ricardo Dinanga, who's tumbled over from a challenge. It was Joe Doyle-Charles who got his foot in. Montel Gibson wins the ball and plays it backwards to Orrin Pendley. We'll go through the teams in a moment. Pendley finds Miles on the right side, goes back to Brandon Hall, who slices the ball out of play. So we'll go through the teams. Brandon Hall for Telford in a 3-5-2. Ellis Miles, the right wing back. Tariq Youssef over on the left side. Orrin Pendley, Jared Hodgkiss, who's come in for the injured Fraser Kerr, and Stephen Jones. That's the back line of three. In midfield, Byron Moore, he's returned from injury. Jordan Piggott, Ty Webster, Montel Gibson partnering Ricardo Dinanga up front. On the bench for the Bucks, Brad Bood, Remy Walker, Billy West, Trey Mitford, James McQuilkin and George Scott. The ball is out of play over on the far side, deep into the Telford half. It will be a Telford throw. Pendley throws it over halfway down the line into the centre of the park with Dinanga, who's running sideways. The pace of Dinanga, but it's like an express train. Still Dinanga, left side of the penalty area now, looking for options. There's not many people with him. Youssef is available, but he's won a throw right near to the corner flag. Good pace from Dinanga there, Dean Craven.
Yeah, I like Dinanga when he gets on the ball. I just think he's got to switch his game. I get why he doesn't get the ball enough to his feet, so he's trying too hard. It's like then easily just play the ball off to Youssef and get yourself in the box. You know, you're 2-on-1, get yourself in the box, whereas he wanted to go at him and he gets a throw in, but I just like to see him switch his game for a little bit.
Steph Jones with the throw, a few yards from the corner flag on this near side, in front of the David Hutchison stand. It's going to be a low ball into the centre of the penalty area, cleared by Coalville, and it will be a throw on the halfway line with Jared Hodgkiss, the captain this afternoon, making his first start for the club, his third appearance. He's come on twice as a substitute. As Jared Hodgkiss features in the matchday programme today, won the championship with West Brom back in 2008. He's 36. He's played in every competition from the Premier League now down to the Southern League. 243 appearances in the National League, mostly at Forest Green. Had a spell last season towards the end as assistant manager, caretaker manager at Hereford. But he starts for the first time in a Bucks shirt this afternoon and takes the captain's armband.
He's a good player, Scott. I've seen him quite a few times. He's very steady. He's still fit. I know he's getting on a little bit in football terms, but he's been very, very steady, and he's got you can just see he's been a good player.
Yeah, he spent some time in Scotland at Aberdeen, went to Kidderminster, Torquay and Macclesfield, won promotion into the Football League. John Askey was there. That was a good few years ago now. John Askey went to Shrewsbury. Then he went to Hereford and spent 4 years. Had a day out at Wembley, led his team in the FA Trophy final in 2021. Telford have the ball then, around their back line, Orrin Pendley. Oh, and Byron Moore's given it away here. A chance for the visitors. The pink shirts are piling forward, but Byron Moore does ever so well to put on the pressure in midfield. Perhaps a little bit too much pressure on Kieran Cook, who goes down, and Byron Moore concedes a free kick. It's taken quickly. Joe Doyle-Charles, the captain in the centre of the park, over on the left side now, running towards goal. The Frank Naggington stand here, the visitors, in this second half. We've had almost 5 minutes of the second half on BBC Radio Shropshire. Scott Harris and Dean Craven with you. Both sides looking for the opening goal in this FA Cup tie. Coalville moving towards the corner on the left side, played into the penalty area. And out again. Dinanga does ever so well to latch on to the end of that. He's crowded around with 3 pink shirts and no foul. The ball's played into the penalty area. No one was there. And Brandon Hall distributes it and finds Gibson, who's over halfway now on this left side, near to the touchline. Running square into the middle of the park, but going backwards. It's a good pass in the end from Gibson, who retreated and has gone back forward. Edge of the penalty area. Good chance here for Webster with the shot. And it's tame. And along the floor into the arms of Paul White, who read that well.
He's done well there. It's a good little bit to play. I just try Webster, just get him on the ball. Simple as get him on the ball. Gibson's played really well. It's not looking good. He's gone down, which is a worry, because Gibson has arguably been Telford's best player for me. I think he's all right, Scott. He seems to be getting up now, but
he looks okay.
He's technically very good. The ball gets played into him. I feel for him on that finish because he's got to score. But technically, when the ball gets played up to him, it usually sticks. Whereas sometimes, if it's played up to Dinanga, he's not as strong as Gibson. So he's not as good at holding the ball up as Gibson. He's more better off Gibson. So they should be looking to get Gibson in the game more and watching him coming off him, really. So
yeah, I would have to agree. I think Montel Gibson just has that little bit more experience.
Yeah,
it just comes down to that. There's no doubt that Ricardo Dinanga is a talent.
Oh, definitely.
Give him the ball at his feet and he'll run at you and keep it. But
Dinanga's brilliant. When he gets in full flow and he's running at people, he is brilliant. But I think them two, they've got to work better as a pair at times. They're very singular. Gibson gets the ball, it's played back to midfield, where Dinanga needs to be playing off Gibson at times. And they don't. I know it's early days and things like that, but those two could cause so much trouble at this level. I'd like to see them just playing a little bit more as a pair at times.
There's been a lot going on in the opening 7 minutes of this second half. Just to go through the Coalville team for you. Paul White returns in goal for them. Wes York, the right wing back. Tom Glinchy, the left wing back. The back line of Jake Hutchins, Ash Carter and Elliot Putman, all 27 years of age. Just thought I'd mention that. In the centre of midfield, Herve Pepe Ngoma, Luke Shaw with Joe Doyle-Charles in the centre, and up top Tim Berridge and Kieran Cook. In our other game, Carlisle have taken the lead. A shot comes in from the centre of the park here for Coalville, but there wasn't much trouble for Brandon Hall in the Telford goal. He collected it well and he's distributed it on this left side to Stephen Jones. Looked to link up with Tariq Youssef, unlucky not to get on the end of that. Ball will go out for a throw. Will be a Coalville throw, and it looks as if there might be a substitution about to take place for Telford.
It looks like Bood, doesn't it? Bood, is he going to go like for like? Is he going to change the system? I don't know. You'd think he'd bring Youssef off. He's going to go like for like.
That's exactly what he's doing. Tariq Youssef is being substituted. He hasn't really got into this game, it has to be said. Just sat a little bit deep on that left side in that left wing back position today. But Brad Bood is coming on, and we've had 8 minutes of this second half. Still goalless here at the New Bucks Head. It's a sunny September Saturday. FA Cup football on the BBC. It's a throw to Coalville on the halfway line. Thrown in down the line. Cleared away by Steph Jones. Only as far as Elliot Putman. Putman looks to link up with Luke Shaw on that left channel, but it comes back to Telford, who thrash it forward across halfway. But it's straight into the arms of Paul White in the Coalville goal.
He knows there, Miles. I think he knows. He's tried that worldy ball, 30-yard diagonal, when he just had an easy five-yard pass onto Webster. I think at times he does that too much. Don't wrong, he has got it in his locker to play that ball. But at times when it's scrappy like it is now, you don't want to be giving him the ball back. Just keep the ball for a bit, and it just get them moving around, get a bit of momentum, get everyone in the game, instead of just playing that ball straight back and it's coming straight back on you again.
And what you don't want, Dean, is to face that bombardment of pressure like they did on Bank Holiday Monday here against Hales Owen. And if that's the last thing you want, really, is to be finding yourselves under pressure in the final 20 minutes of a cup tie. You want to be pulling the strings in midfield and having chances on goal yourself. And other than Montel Gibson 5 minutes before half time, Telford haven't offered too much creatively going forward in that final third. Telford are unbeaten at home so far this season, 2 wins and a draw. The Bucks are already into double figures in the league with 10 goals from their 3 games, although you could say the opening 2. They drew a blank here on Monday with that goalless draw against Hales Owen. But Telford have this miserable record in the FA Cup recently, dumped out by lower league opposition in every season for the last 6. And even when they got to the first round in 2017 against Hereford, they were a Southern League club. They lost 1-0 away at Edgar Street. They lost at home last season to Chasetown 4-2, 2 leagues below them at the time, and it started the demise of Paul Carden. Free kick to Coalville, played in deep to the back stick. It's far too deep, it's gone out for a goal kick. No worries there for Brandon Hall, and Coalville not exactly punching hard.
No, they seem to be sitting back a little bit, Coalville. You know, playing to their hand to replay at their place. Of course it will. That's what they're going to want. But Telford now got to push it because Coalville are nothing special. I wouldn't even say they're any better, really, than Nuneaton. But Telford look like they're going to do something that some of their big players have got to perform today. They've got to, they've got quite a long time, get in the game and get playing. Because at the moment, it's too scrappy.
Need someone to light a spark, just like what happened against Nuneaton here. Telford had a narrow lead, didn't they? And then they just exploded with those 6 second half goals against Borough. That was a fortnight ago. Steph Jones in the middle of the park, over halfway, sprays it out wide to Jordan Piggott, who loses possession. Coalville can come again now. End-to-end stuff here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Pendley goes in with a sliding challenge. I'm not sure how he hasn't cleared the ball there. So into the arms of Brandon Hall. But this game is very scrappy. Just needs someone to latch on to something and create a goal. We're still waiting for the opening goal here on BBC Radio Shropshire. FA Cup football, Telford 0, Coalville 0. 12 minutes of the second half. Carlisle are in front at Brunton Park. It's a Tom Bayliss own goal as Shrewsbury fall behind. Close to the hour mark there.
You can see when Piggott was in that last phase of play, Scott. Piggott's got on the ball. In fairness to Zananga, he's gone short to then go long with his movement. Whereas I think he had his head down in his defence, Piggott. He'd already made his mind up when he's playing it, and they're having a little bit of a chat about it at the moment. But that's, again, he's only young, Zananga. He's going to be a good player, but he's just got to keep learning. Once his head's down, he's already chose that he can't go, then I'm going in behind them. I've got to stay there and have the ball, because they're, Coalville straight back on him again.
Chance here for Coalville on the right side towards the byline. The cross comes in. Thought it might have taken a deflection. It was Wes York who's in that right wing back position. He hasn't got forward much in this game so far. Wes York, the right wing back. Tom McGlitchy on the left side. He had more appetite in front of goal in that first half.
They're nothing special, Scott, are they? They're big, strong, resolute, quality-wise, 4, 5 out of 10 at the most. All they are is big and strong and physical. But Telford are going to have that week in, week out. They've got to be brave, get on the ball, get passing it, take that ball on under pressure.
Here come the visitors then, with Tim Berridge, who's playing up top. He's a little bit deeper though in this second half. Runs into traffic and can only distribute to Herve Pepe Ngoma, who's in the centre of the park. Coalville just not really able to keep possession. They've managed to do so over on the left side. Link up now in the penalty area with Tim Berridge, who's got a number of white shirts around him, and he's brought down. It's a penalty to Coalville. It was a loose challenge from Steph Jones. Berridge had found himself in a good position, that left corner of the penalty area, and a mistake which could be costly. It's a penalty for the visitors here at the New Bucks Head, and we've had almost an hour of play. Dean, what did you see of that?
Definite pen. I was thinking, don't do it, just hold him up, he's going nowhere, you're right next to him, don't dangle that foot. It's immature, it's silly mistakes. You know, he's not done it on purpose, of course, but he can't do that. He's in the box, he wants you to bring him down, Scott. He's going nowhere, he's coming away from the goal in a corner sort of way, and he's just hacked him down. It's one of them. Let's just hope the keeper can pull something out the bag here. It was a definite penalty.
It's Elliot Putman against Brandon Hall, the visitors, to take the lead in this cup tie. Steps up. And he scored. Coalville take the lead from the penalty spot. We've had an hour gone here. It was high into the right corner of the net. Not really a chance for Brandon Hall, who he's beaten. And Coalville take the lead. It's Telford 0, Coalville 1.
Well, they've got half an hour to put this right. Coalville are nothing special. They're not. You know, they've got bits of, they get the ball, they play it long, they're big and strong, they're tackling. You know, they've given away 4 or 5 on yellow cards. You know, the number 18 at the moment, he's not great on the ball for Coalville. He's having a cigar. He's just relaxing, getting the ball, playing it. Telford have got to go for it. There's no second chance. If you don't win today, you're out. Or if you take a draw. But really, they're still there to be beaten, Coalville. And I mean that, being totally honest, they are not any better than Nuneaton, so what's the excuse?
It's the first goal they've conceded at the New Bucks Head this season. 1-0 the visitors lead. They take the lead in the cup tie. Telford need to react quite quickly here, but, well, it's gone against them as the ball's floated into the penalty area. It's adjudged to have come off the hand of Montel Gibson, who, looked to control the ball. So it will be a free kick for Coalville, who are now sitting comfortably on this lead. Disappointing, Dean, because just when it looked as if Telford might grow some confidence in this cup tie, and they lose the lead.
Yeah, they'd be really disappointed, but they've got to be. This is what, you know, when you've got winning mentality in a team, this is the time now. You show what you're made of. The manager will be looking at these players and going, right, who really has got that winning mentality? Who wants to be a hero like we spoke about before? Who wants to score a goal? Who wants to get in the box? They've got to show it now. This is not a great team they're playing against.
The fans just getting a bit frustrated here at the New Bucks Head. It's a sunny day, not many clouds in the sky here. It's warm, about 20 degrees. The last days of summer, early autumn. It's a time of year where you want to hang on to all of the sunshine as long as you can. There is a stoppage here. And it is a substitution. Ashley Chambers has come on for the visitors.
Yeah, he's a good player, Ashley Chambers, experienced. I was looking at a thing on him. He got the record for, was he 15 years old, Scott, and he played in the Cup for Leicester. So he's been a good player. He's a good age now, but if that ball comes through in that box, you know, he's going to know how to finish. So they've got to be aware of him. You know, but don't get me wrong, Hodgkiss is a good player as well, so we'll be well aware of him, but don't get hit with another one. Stay in the game now. At 1-0, you've still got a chance, and I tell you what, if Telford can get one, I honestly do think they'll get two.
Yeah, Ashley Chambers, he's only 33, but it feels like he's been around, for a very long time. He was an England under-19, won League One with Leicester back in 2009. As a youngster, he went on to play for York, Cambridge, Grimsby, Nuneaton, Kidderminster, spells at Brackley under Kevin Wilkin, and Buxton, and signed last summer, but he will be a danger. And Coalville, who sit on this 1-goal advantage in the cup tie. First qualifying round here. Telford need to find something, anything, to get themselves back in to the game. It's not going to happen with incidents like that, although Telford have the free kick. Byron Moore plays it short now to Webster. Webster doesn't have support, he's going alone on the left side. Brad Bood now, who tries to swing in across, comes back off a pink shirt, back to Bood, who tracks backwards. Steph Jones on halfway finds Pendley as the Bucks look to recycle and go again, this time on the right channel. Good play from Telford now on halfway with Ellis Miles, who's sprinting forward towards goal. The cross comes in. Gibson tries to get onto the end of it with his foot and doesn't manage to do so. It was a deep cross from Ellis Miles over on that right side, but far too much for Montel Gibson to control that at that pace.
Yeah, it weren't a bad bit of play. You know, I'd like to see Denanga, could he have got across the front stick and then Webster, because he's come round the back. He's come round the back of that, but more, it was, you know, it was too much for him, but can we just break a neck and try and get him in front of their defence? I've noticed as well, Webster's gone off the ball a lot in this game. The captain, as soon as he gets the ball, the captain for Coalville, straight on him, so he's looking for him, but he's got to be brave. I know he's only 17, he's got to go, well, he's going to come and mark me, fine, I'll still have the ball under pressure, no problem. I'm the best player on this pitch, that's how he's got to think. And at the moment though, you watch, as soon as he gets it, he's straight onto him.
Well, we're into the 66th minute here on BBC Radio Shropshire. It's Telford 0, Coalville 1. Elliot Putman with a penalty on the hour has given the visitors the lead. They have the advantage in the cup tie. Telford need to find a goal to force a replay. Montel Gibson had the best chance 5 minutes before half time. He will be ruining that opportunity.
There needs to be more urgency. They've got to be getting that ball. I know there's, what, 25, if you save, if there's 30 minutes left with the extra. Doesn't matter, go for it now, pick that ball up. Still seeing Telford players jogging to the ball, walking to the ball, get that ball back in play. Let's get a goal at least.
And Coalville will be quite happy to sit on this lead. Ty Webster doesn't know where the ball is. It came off his backside. It's flicked on now to Luke Shaw, who's running towards goal now. Edge of the left corner of the penalty area into the centre. They play a 1-2 to the byline. It's kept in, it's deep. Chambers is there, it's off the crossbar. Ashley Chambers has hit the bar, and that was on a plate for 2-0.
Again, I keep saying the same thing about immature, Scott. Forget what they've just done there, which they should have scored. You fancy Chambers from there. Ty Webster, I know he's only young and 17. They're grappling at him, they're pulling him. He starts arguing with the captain, and the ball's there for him. I can't believe it. I know he's only young. He's got to get away from silly habits like that. That's what they want. They want to knock him off. They want to knock him. They want to put him off the game, so he's thinking about other things. He's got to learn that quick.
Corner to Coalville over on the far side. Header. He's cleared by Pendley, who is massive. He always wins things in the air. Looks as if Remy Walker might be coming on. He's certainly warming up, and I think Denanga might be coming off, but that's yet to materialise. Saw a quick flash of the board.
Denanga needs to get in the game, Scott. You know, if he's going to get brought off here, he's such a talent, but he just isn't doing it. He isn't doing it. You know, I worry about taking him off because he has got some brilliance in him, but he hasn't worked hard enough today. He just hasn't. He hasn't, but I'd still leave him on the pitch. But he's a frustrating figure at the moment. I know he's not had loads of the ball, but he's just got to try harder. You know, going back to that, who wants to be a hero? But it does look like it's going to be him to come off, which is a real shame. Yeah,
it does look as if the number 14, Remy Walker, he's coming on, and we haven't seen him since the opening day of the season when he scored against Royston and then was taken off immediately, landed awkwardly, and it is Denanga who goes off and makes way for Remy Walker. And let's hope that he's the catalyst for change in this second half. We're midway through on BBC Radio Shropshire. Coalville, the visitors, are 1-0 up. Telford need a goal, and they need it quickly.
Yeah, I'm just watching Denanga walk off, and I know it's something silly, but he just doesn't look that bothered. I'd be heartbroken to be coming off this knowing that I've got a player like him who's got so much ability, and it's not anyone else's fault than his own. He's got to try harder because he's got so much ability is not enough, especially in the non-league. There's loads of players with good ability, but they're in the non-league for a reason, because there's something else that's maybe, you look at some of these lads and you think, oh, what a player, why are you in the non-league? It's because they're not trying hard enough, and there's no excuse. He should be given 110% every game because he is one hell of a player. So I'm just hoping, it's hard for the manager, you know, because he has got so much ability. I'm gutted to see him go off, to be honest with you, because he has got, but he's done nothing. he's done nothing, sadly, and I'm one of his fans, I'll be honest. I think he's a really good player, but today he's done nothing.
The heads have dropped slightly here as they look to defend Coalville, who are coming forward in big numbers. Chance here on the right side, and it's going to be a free kick for Coalville. Wes York this time did enough, just a few yards from the byline and the touchline in that corner. So a chance for the men in pink to cause more problems for the Bucks, who have, well, just over 20 minutes to save their FA Cup campaign for another season. So it's going to be almost a corner here in retrospect, just a few yards from the byline and the touchline on this near side. It's going to be swung into the danger zone. Brandon Hall couldn't get there, but luckily Byron Moore cleared the danger with his head. It ricochets off a pink shirt, and it will be a goal kick to Telford. And they have to hit the reset button here, Dean. They have to want it. They have to try and find a goal, because that penalty's knocked the stuffing out of them.
Definitely, but this is the time now. Got to show what good players you are. Doesn't matter what's happening. I know the ground's gone really quiet, eerie quiet at the moment, because I think they're disappointed. It was a real sucker punch, that was. Telford were looking okay at the time. Doesn't matter, it's only 1-0. Go out, get out the ball, get a goal. You know, it's not the end of the world. But at the moment, I'm just looking at a few of the players' body language. Looks like they're giving in.
Luke Shaw on the left channel. He's running at some speed towards goal, but Orrin Pendley's equal to it. He's, well, trips, loses his footing, and in the end puts the ball out of play, level with the edge of the penalty area over on that far side in front of the scoreboard, if you are familiar with the New Bucks Head. Fortunately, it's at the wrong end of the pitch. Coalville then with possession. They play it square into the centre of the park with the captain, Joe Doyle-Charles, who won't be in a great rush, but he's dispossessed. Byron Moore with the pressure. Byron Moore for Telford with Remy Walker. They're linking up nicely, right corner of the penalty area. Moore needs support. He finds it with Jordan Piggott in the centre. Over on this left side now with Bood. Cross comes in, cleared by Coalville. And the danger has gone, and they can break now towards halfway. Excellent from Ty Webster. Play on, says the referee, but Webster goes with a weak snapshot. And that is not going to get them back into this FA Cup tie. Rushed from Ty Webster, when really he should have done better.
Yeah, he's got to keep playing. He's just a bit of a, you know, we know he's only 17. He's frustrated, Webster is, so he's trying to make something happen, which is, it's nice that he wants to make something happen. But that was a good bit of play for Telford. Keep the ball, because at the moment, if they looked at the stats on the possession, I'd say Coalville are way in front. So when they do get good possession, just relax, keep the ball, wait for the chance. You don't have to take snapshots just yet. Let's keep playing.
Yeah, defensively they've looked really good. Here's Montel Gibson into the penalty area, running towards the byline on the left side, tries to get a cross in, but he's closed down. Ball goes back to Webster. He's got Brad Bood on the left side. In the end goes for Gibson, who curls one to the back post. Should be a corner, but I think Paul White's just done enough to keep the ball in play. Montel Gibson carving out that opportunity with a curling shot on his right boot to the left post of Paul White. But Telford need a goal. We have just over 15 minutes plus stoppages left in this FA Cup first qualifying round game. Here's the substitute, Ashley Chambers for Coalville. Distributes it to the right side, and Wes York. Bood goes with him, and it will be a Telford throw. Excellent work there from Brad Bood, the substitute.
Yeah, you see there, Chambers holding the ball up, playing it and moving. Telford got to be that. Don't just go for one big launch. Try and play a few more passes. Just relax. Have a bit of confidence. Plenty of time yet. Don't just start whacking it, because Coalville want that. They want you to hit a long ball. They're big, strong, physical. They want you to do that. You've got to get in and around them with your passes. Play the ball and move.
That was sloppy from Steph Jones. He was looking for Byron Moore in the middle of the park, but the pass was straight to a pink shirt.
He's a good player, Steph Jones, but he's having a
Chambers
not
is
his
running
best game.
rings. He's found Joe Doyle-Charles, who might decide to have a crack. Puts his foot on the ball, distributes it out wide to Wes York, who's dancing into the penalty area. Will he find a shot? This is still Wes York, edge of the D, running sideways, closed down by Byron Moore. Excellent from him. Left channel, ball comes in, it's deep, and it's into the Frank Naggington stand. It will be a goal kick.
Good defending, Scott. No one went diving in. Just kept him going the one way away from goal. If they want to shoot from 20 odd yards, let them do that. It was good defending that. The belief seems to have gone, someone's got to want this. I know they care. They've got to do. They wouldn't be out there. They care, but just show now something. It's desperately needs someone to get this by the scruff of the neck.
We have played half an hour of the second half. Goal kick from Brandon Hall, met by the head of Montel Gibson. Coalville come forward now across halfway. They've got Ashley Chambers, who's running up top, left side. Penley tracks back and picks off Luke Shaw. Shaw finds Tom McGlitchy on that left side, all rather too comfortable for Coalville, who's sitting on this 1-0 lead. Cross comes in, no one's there, and Telford will have a throw on this near side, near to the corner flag. No real urgency from the Bucks. They need to find a goal, but it's not coming anytime soon.
My worry, Scott, and I don't want to be a scathing attack at they don't look fit enough. They look exhausted. I'm watching them and thinking...
Sluggish, I think is the word. No sense of desperation yet, with just 15 minutes to go. Another loose ball played forward. The fans are frustrated. It was aimless in the left channel.
I think they're frustrated at the pass, but I think they're more frustrated, Scott, that no one actually had a run. They just jogged to it.
Yeah.
Someone needs to tell these players, you are about to crash out the FA Cup, which means a lot for the fans, it means a lot to the players, surely. But there just doesn't seem no one that bothered for me.
It doesn't look as if anyone wants it enough. I don't know whether that's unfair, but there's one or two with their heads dropped.
You've got to sometimes say how it is, Scott. And I know it's harsh because we know the plaudits that we give them. Like when they played Nuneaton, they were amazing. They looked an absolute class act. But that team to this team today, more or less the same players, it's nowhere near. And it's nowhere near because they're not trying hard enough.
Free kick to Coalville across halfway. Header met by a white shirt of Ellis Miles in the left corner of the penalty area. The ball comes in. Chambers was sliding in. All he needed to do was make contact there and it would have been 2-0. Telford clear, they've got away with that one. Byron Moore. It's like musical statues with Telford in possession. Moore finally unleashes Jared Hodgkiss. Hodgkiss finds Miles, over halfway now. Oh, it's a poor ball. Can he win it back? No, he can't. Pendley will come in, but Telford being pushed back by their opponents. They can't get into the Coalville half. Chance now then for Hodgkiss. Oh, it's sloppy from him. He recovers well, but it's gone all the way back to Brandon Hall.
Scott, they're playing a 3-5-2, and so are Coalville. Both wing backs, they're one-on-one. Push them back. They're way too deep. They have been all game. They've got to push them right back. So they're defending.
Here's Webster, linked up with Montel Gibson. But again, the ball is cleared. It's an aimless clearance from Coalville, but they don't care. They're just clearing their line. And yeah, just to pick up on your point there, Dean, there needs to be some urgency here, and it looks as if Byron Moore's coming off. The third substitution of the afternoon. Trey Mitford is coming on. So Brad Bood, Remy Walker, now Trey Mitford on for the Bucks.
He gives something different, a big physical presence, so you know what's coming now. They're going to go long, I'd imagine, to him and then try and feed off the bits. Let's hope that works. But they're playing the same system, and the wing backs of Coalville have been better than the wing backs of Telford. Simple as that's a big thing. The midfield of Coalville has been better than Telford's, so they've got to beat them, man. They're one-on-one. They've got no excuses. There's no need to look at other people. You do your job, you beat your man, and at the moment there's not enough of that. Great.
Bood with a good pass in the left channel, picks out the substitute with Mitford. Back to Webster. Remy Walker. Telford pushed right the way back to halfway, but they still have possession. Chance here for the Bucks to try and carve out an opportunity on goal. It's opened up now to Hodgkiss in the middle of the park. He needs support though, and finds Jordan Piggott. Piggott, who's a little bit deep on that right side. Well, there's a bit of a hole for him there at the minute. He links up with Ellis Miles. Miles and Piggott still with the ball into the centre with Trey Mitford. Mitford finds Walker now. This is better from Telford. Bood with a cross. It was along the floor, and the defender just got his foot to block the shot coming in, and it's into the arms of the goalkeeper. That was much better from the Bucks.
Miles better.
You look at the clock, Dean, there's 10 minutes to go. Something needs to happen now. I mean, well,
Scott, I'm going to go back to what you said at the start. You need a bit of FA Cup magic here.
You do.
We really need something from Telford, because we haven't seen enough of it. We haven't.
The Bucks craving some FA Cup magic here at the new Bucks Head. Less than 10 minutes to go. They need to save their FA Cup season. Going out at the first qualifying round, that's not on the agenda, but it could be if they don't dig themselves out of this hole. It was a penalty on the hour. Elliot Putman with the strike into the right corner of the net. Brandon Hall beaten. It was a good penalty. Steph Jones, the culprit, with the sloppy challenge that led to it. It was a penalty. We had a clear view of it from up here, sadly. Another moment that will probably be a nightmare for Steph Jones when he wakes up in the middle of the night. Yes, it did happen, just as Montel Gibson missed the best opportunity of the first half. Pendley's pushed over right on the byline, and the referee doesn't give the foul, but there's some good fortune there because Brandon Hall will have the goal kick. We've got 8 minutes to go plus stoppages.
Can I shout on the pitch, Scott? There's 10 minutes, because they don't look walking. Even the keeper now is taking his time. There's 10 minutes left of the FA Cup game. 10 minutes, come on.
Looks as if we've played 10 minutes and there's still a sizable amount of time to go. No real sense of urgency. They need to take up the tempo a couple of notches. Walker, who's back on the pitch for the first time since the opening day. We need something special from him. Piggott links up now with Mitford, who with a long-range effort. That was from some quite distance from goal, at least 30 yards. I mean, full marks for the attempt, but it was high and over the crossbar.
At least he's having a go, Scott. He's having a go. He's turned, running at them, getting his shot off. Yes, it would have been a worldie, but at least since he's come on, he's looked a hell of a lot better. There's no doubt about that. Keep getting him the ball. He looks right up for it. They're backing off him, Coalville, but there should have been more of this. There should have been more of this, for longer. At the moment, it took a sub to come on to actually do something, but I'm looking round. I just don't see that the passion's there. They should be desperate, absolutely down. I'm going to be too hard on them because they've done some really good performances, but they need to look at themselves and go, look, are we desperate to win? You're going to go home tonight and look in the mirror and go, I give everything I've got, because I don't think they could, and I don't want to be too harsh on them, I really don't, but it does look that, and the fans are so frustrated because it doesn't look like it means as much to them as it does to the fans.
Steve Towers has come on for Tim Berridge. So Coalville making their second substitution of the afternoon. As far as they're concerned, it will be job done if the scoreline stays the same. Telford will be praying for a goal to earn themselves a replay. Montel Gibson loses the ball in the Coalville half. It's cleared by the goal scorer Elliot Putman. Playing that back three this afternoon of Putman and Ash Carter, Jake Hutchins, Wes York on that right side, Luke Shaw on the left. Coalville have changed their front two with Kieran Cook and Tim Berridge going off for Steve Towers and Ashley Chambers. The pink shirts look comfortable in possession as Trey Mitford, the Telford substitute, attempts to close down the goalkeeper. Mitford, the experienced 28-year-old who signed from Boston. He had a long-range shot a few moments ago, but according to my notepaper, that's the only real effort that Telford have had in this second half. Less than 6 minutes to go here, plus stoppages. And Telford just look out of ideas.
It's not nice to watch, Scott. I don't want to keep, giving them stick really, because that's what I am doing, but I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated just watching them. It's just what has happened to the team that played against Nuneaton, where it was fluid. We played football, we played through the lines, played from back to front, some real nice football, the finishing. Today, nothing's really happened. All right, we've had a couple of chances, and would it have been a different game if that goal goes in? Of course it would. But on the whole game, of Coalville been the better team? Yeah, they probably have.
In the second half, yes. But as you say, if Montel Gibson had have put them in the lead 5 minutes from the end of the first half, it would have been a different story. But it's not the case, and Telford are looking for a goal to keep themselves in this season's FA Cup. The clock is ticking on. There is no sense of urgency here whatsoever. There is a slight delay as the players take on some drinks. Not sure if there's going to make another substitution here, the visitors, just to waste even more time.
How much do they want it, Scott? That's what they've got to ask themselves now. How much do you want this? Coalville are nothing special, but second half, I can't even remember any. Was there any real chances second half? Real ones, Scott?
Other than Trey Mitford for Telford, but I mean, yeah, at the other end, I mean, Coalville haven't been peppering Brandon Hall's goal.
They hit the bar, didn't they?
Yeah, I guess Chambers, perhaps, yeah. Credit to him, should have made it 2-0. The penalty was soft in a way to concede that penalty in that position. It was just a poorly timed challenge from Steph Jones, not like him. But they still have some time. They've got 4.5 minutes plus stoppages. Penley plays the ball into the right channel, looks to pick out Gibson, who doesn't get there. Miles is there too. So is Webster, who does win a free kick.
You want to see Penley in the box here, Scott? I want to see Penley in the box. Let's go for him, because there's no one anywhere close as big as him, and he's good in the air. Let's just get a good ball into the box. This could be one of the last chances of the game. Hopefully it's not, but they've got to make sure this is a good ball in.
Well, it's a good 30 yards from goal, right side of the penalty area. You'd be brave to have a shot at goal from this angle. Surely it will be floated into the penalty spot for someone to get on the end of it. It's going to be Remy Walker. Let's see what he can do with the free kick for Telford. You can't imagine they'll have a better chance left in this game. Walker then floats it into the penalty area. Chance for Gibson on the byline, who wins a corner. It was a good clearance from Elliot Putman.
It was a great ball in, Scott. That's all you asked for. It was a great ball. Mitford was so close there. It was good defending. Fair play to him, Coalville. That was really good defending. But come on, we've got to hold them in here now. Let's have another good ball, because they're giants. You look at Mitford and Penley. They're giants. Just another good ball in.
Telford need a goal, and they need it now. There are just 2 minutes to go. Corner floated in to the edge of the 6-yard box. Orin Pendley was there, but it's cleared. Well, Dean, the referee's just picked up as a foul from Ellis Miles, close to the halfway line, so it will be a free kick to Coalville, and that chance has been diffused so quickly.
Yeah.
90 seconds to go.
It weren't a good ball, was it? That was the time to see another good ball. He sort of played it out towards a penalty spot. Get it up over the keeper. You've got two giants running in there. Put it right on the keeper, I would. He ain't going to want them two come running at him.
Ball's floated high to the left channel. Ashley Chambers over on that far side. Coalville going from our left to right. Couldn't get on the end of that. Looks like it's going to be another free kick here. Coalville will be in no rush to take this. A minute left of the 90. Telford 0, Coalville 1 on BBC Radio Shropshire. Scott Harris and Dean Craven. It looks as if Telford might be on their way out of the FA Cup for another season. Joe Doyle-Charles plays the free kick short. No sense of urgency here at all. And it's Jordan Piggott who ushers the ball out of play. It will be a goal kick to Telford. They won't have many opportunities left in this game. Telford 0, Coalville 1. Seconds away from stoppage time at the end of the second half. The visitors going through. A last minute goal for the Bucks would earn them a replay. Mitford's in there, looking to find Gibson, who has the ball at his feet, goes with a long range shot. It's spilled by the goalkeeper. Montel Gibson from range. Paul White managed to get a hand to it. It will be another Telford corner, and we are into added on time at the end of the second half.
Great strike, absolute great. The keeper should do better. Don't get me wrong, the keeper, I'm not sure if it swerved in front of him because it nearly went in his own net. It was a good strike though, real good strike. Right now, here's the corner. Put it on top of the goalkeeper. Put it right on, let the big guys go in and attack this ball. It's so important now.
Remy Walker in front of the David Hutchison stand. Telford need a goal. It's cleared off the edge of the 6-yard box. Back to Ellis Miles, who finds Remy Walker on this left side. Still Walker, plays it into the centre. Webster surely will have a crack at goal! Oh, it's wide! It was a superb strike from Ty Webster from range. He must have been, well, 25 yards out, edge of the D, on the approach. And the ball had the right height. It was just wide of the post. That was the moment.
I was up, Scott. I thought it was in when he hit it. The last few minutes has been brilliant. Where has this been all game? We've got to get the ball, keep going. Just left it too late, or have they? Can we have a bit of magic? Because that must have been close, because the keeper was going for it as well, so he must have thought it was close.
A yard wide perhaps on this near side as we see it in the commentary box, to the right hand post of Paul White. Looked as if it was going in. Still one more moment perhaps. Telford edge of the penalty area. Mitford goes down and the referee says no for a spot kick. The fans just, well, hanging on to anything at the moment. We've had 2 minutes of added on time. There can't be much more time left.
It's not like Miles. He's had one of them games. I've never seen him like this. I'm not sure if he's carrying an injury or he's been second to the ball. He's done some silly stuff like that. He's going nowhere and he's just hacked him down. It could be that he's usually a really good player. He's been steady. You know, he's a 7, 8 out of 10 every week, but I don't know what's happened to him today.
Carlisle are 2-0 up on Shrewsbury Town. It looks as if they're going to win that one. 90+6, the second goal of the afternoon at Brunton Park. And it is full time there. We'll rejoin Mary Kate for the verdict. Bucks fans, let us know your thoughts. 0808 100 96 96. It looks as if AFC Telford United are crashing out of the FA Cup at the first qualifying round stage. It is Telford 0, Coalville 1. The goal coming from the penalty spot. Elliot Putman on the hour, which did the damage. It was a clumsy challenge from Stephen Jones. Montel Gibson should have given Telford the lead 5 minutes before half time, but his shot went wide of the post. One more moment perhaps. Oh, they've given it away though, and the chance now for Coalville to break. Here comes Ashley Chambers. Chambers is going to get there. Will he score? Excellent goalkeeping from Brandon Hall. He stops a certain goal. Here comes Joe Doyle-Charles. All the drama coming at the wrong end for Telford. Doyle-Charles will just shield the ball by the corner flag, but Telford win the throw. There's a push from Ty Webster, who's got a red card, a straight red card for Ty Webster. It was a push, and Webster's been sent off right near to the corner flag, next to the tunnel, and Ty Webster is down the tunnel. A straight red for him. Tempers have boiled over here at the New Bucks Head. There's seconds to go, and Telford are out of the FA Cup. Dean Craven.
was silly. Again, it's the captain. What's happened is I could see it bubbling all game. The captain for Coalville has just all he's done all day, and Webster's fell for it because he's only young. He's, to be fair, the captain for Coalville, he's been their best player. He really has. He's broke everything up. He hasn't given Webster a sniff. He's stopped everything. And I think it was just complete frustration. Because you watch him, he's very aggressive, the captain. And he had little knocks here, little punches here, his little pulls here. He's very frustrating for him. But he's played well, don't get me wrong. And Webster's just lost his cool and given him a shove. I don't know if it was a red, but in the law of the game, it has to be. But he'll learn. He's only 17. He'll learn that he's going to get that. Everyone's going to know he's a good player, and they're going to try and put him off.
Free kick for Telford. Brandon Hall plays it upfield. He's found Trey Mitford. Delivers the ball into the penalty area. It's cleared by Coalville. Is there time for just one more chance? Here come Telford. Jordan Piggott over on the right side goes down. That has to be a free kick. The referee says no. Looked as if Piggott was fouled there. Is there time for one more chance in this game? Coalville now across halfway. Ashley Chambers is making a run into the centre. Chambers to make it two. He's going to round the goalkeeper. Excellent defending from Telford. Chambers with the foul. Is there time for one more chance? Brandon Hall has to put his laces through this football over halfway as fast as he can. The ball's over halfway. Orin Pendley's gone up. Gibson flicks it on. Oh, and there's a Coalville man there who clears it back to halfway. They will not care where this ball goes. They're just clearing aimlessly. A throw now to Telford. Jared Hodgkiss, the captain, throws it to Brandon Hall. We've had 5.5 minutes, almost 6 minutes of added on time here. Ball's floated to the edge of the penalty area. Gibson's there. And it's bounced into the arms of Paul White. Surely that will be it. Telford heading out of the FA Cup. Telford 0, Coalville 1 on BBC Radio Shropshire.
They've got a gamble there, Scott. They know it's going long. Why is no one already on their bike? They know someone's going to win a header. Someone won straight in behind. No one's making that run. I can't believe it at times, some of the stuff we do.
Not sure where the referee's finding this time from. Well, that's it. It's all over here. The visitors have beaten Telford by a goal to nil. Telford are out of the FA Cup at the first hurdle, the first qualifying round of the FA Cup. AFC Telford United are out. Telford 0, Coalville 1. The goal coming on the hour. It was a clumsy challenge from Stephen Jones in the penalty area, inside the 18-yard box. And Elliot Putman stroked the ball into the roof of the net and gave the visitors the lead. Dean Craven, it's just not been good enough this afternoon.
No, that's one of the... It was a shame because they've had good chances. You know, when you look at analyse the whole game, Telford have had some good chances. But when they haven't gone in, they just seem to have lost belief. Good teams don't lose belief. They go again, and they never give up. Whereas I felt a little bit, apart from the last 5 minutes, when we looked like we might do something, there just weren't enough of it all through the game. And Coalville are nothing special. They're nothing, they're just physical. They've got nothing special up front. They didn't really create an awful lot. It's just a real disappointing day for Telford.
Well, it was sluggish, it was sloppy from AFC Telford United, who have crashed out of the FA Cup at the first hurdle, the first qualifying round stage. Telford are out, beaten by a goal to nil. Full time here at the New Bucks Head. AFC Telford United 0, Coalville Town 1.
Also defeat as well for AFC Telford at the New Bucks Head, bowing out of the FA Cup at the very first time of asking. Your commentary team there, Scott Harris and Dean Craven. Dean, you were hopeful at half time. What happened?
We're sitting here at the moment trying to analyse the game. I just feel total disappointment. I'm questioning a few things that they may not like to hear. Is the desire there? It looks really flat. Where's the enthusiasm? you know, and there's some of the things that I just thought, some of the basics, know-how, you know, and being really harsh, Mary Kate, and I don't want to ask this question, are those players good enough? And then you go, oh, come on, it's just one game, you know, but they didn't look, they must have been bothered, but me watching it and seeing how frustrated the fans were, sometimes did it mean enough to them, would be my only question today. Did it mean enough? You know, there was a couple of not so good performances from players that are normally a steady 7 and 8, and you didn't get that today. Did they miss the captain? I thought they did. But at the same time, you know, you got a very experienced Hodgkiss come in that did nothing wrong. You know, he did nothing wrong, so that would probably be unfair. It was just, I'm just looking at it and going, did you want it enough? Did you really want to get into the next round? And I can't understand that, because who doesn't want to play against the top teams? The further you get in the FA Cup, the luckier you get. You know, we all love watching the TV, don't we? When they're doing the draws and you've got them at the grounds and the smaller clubs playing the big. I can't believe they wouldn't want to be desperate to be in that.
It's a penalty that Coalville that separates the two sides. Obviously, we didn't get to see the penalty. Was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? You know, was Telford with their chances? Yeah,
it was 100% a penalty. You know, it was a bit immature. He's sort of in the box. You know, you can't dangle a leg. You know, no one argued. It was a definite penalty. And at that point, Telford were actually playing well. They're well in the game, and they've had chances. You know, we can't be too hard on them, because I think after the game, and you're watching them in the last 20 minutes, they look like they'd given in. There was no doubt about that. But if you know the chances, and they were good chances. They really were. Gibson's chance, he's got to score. If that goes in, is it a different game? 100%. Totally different game. But it didn't. So, and good teams and good players, they go again. And then they go again. They miss, they go again. Whereas I think Telford were almost, I don't think they were feeling sorry for themselves, but they just didn't seem to want to go again. It was one of those, and Coalville were very workmanlike. Sort of, they just made sure it was an ugly game at times. The captain for Coalville was their best player, and he stopped Webster every time, and he was pushing him, pulling him, knocking him off the ball. So that took him off, and you know, arguably one of Telford's best players. He just stopped, and it was ugly at times. But Coalville just come, and you can just see that they know how to win. They're nothing special. They're nothing spectacular, but they know how to win games. But they're not, I don't think they're the yardstick for how good you need to be. I think they'll be thereabouts, but they're not nothing special. Telford should have beat them today. They'd be really disappointed. The thoughts of former Telford player Dean Craven here on BBC Radio Shropshire as they go out of the FA Cup at the first time of asking. Defeat then in the first qualifying round for Telford in the FA Cup. We'll hear from manager Kevin Wilkin before 6 o'clock. Well, we can hear from the AFC Telford manager Kevin Wilkin now.
Kevin, not the result that you wanted, a very difficult one to take.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to take. I think we, looked fairly comfortable in the game to half time. Come out in the second half, and like I say, there's one or two that I felt could have done a whole lot better in the first half. As comfortable as we looked in the game, I thought at that stage, there's still one or two that were like loose for the play, and one or two that didn't quite show the effort levels that we need in those areas. And I just felt it needed improving slightly in the second half to give ourselves a chance to go on and win it. But I think when you concede, you give them a moment and a chance and a situation like that, and then you find yourself trying to claw your way back into the game. And I fully agree. Some of the people stood behind me there in the second half there that are not happy. I understand that, and they've every right not to be happy. Basic moments and situations that we've got to do a whole lot better in, and we can set them up in whatever formation, but it's not about formation that today. It's about passing the ball and showing that bit of resolve and that bit of decision making at crucial times to not allow an easy gift and a penalty to decide the outcome.
The penalty came at the right time for them. Any complaints? You had a better view than us over on that far side.
I don't think you can complain. It's a penalty. Stefan is a young man that's learning the game, but before every game I'll say to him, don't dangle a leg and don't try and win a ball that isn't there to be won. And unfortunately he's done exactly that. He gives the referee a chance to make a decision. I don't think we can have too many complaints, but like I say, after taking on the chin, he's 18. I put him in there and have to trust that he's going to be big enough and bold enough to make those good decisions and strong decisions and not gift easy, cheap opportunities to the opposition. There was a moment there before it that I think Ellis has dallied on the ball, and again, you know, the build up to it and getting in that situation when you're not as sharp as you need to be. Moments like that can occur. I think, you know, off the back of that, then Coalville understand how to manage the game. We don't really get too much of a head of steam up until the latter stages of the game, but it feels like first half we generally, like, you know, the first half an hour against Barwell, we've done pretty well up until gifting again poor goals. The first half against Hales Owen last week, I think we looked fairly solid and strong in the game, and I think, you know, again today, first half we hadn't looked under too much pressure, albeit when we turn the ball over they break away and hit the post, and then we look like we peter out a little bit second half, and whether that's, you know, some of those younger boys aren't to the level of fitness that we perhaps require and strength in a game that we require, but we have to be a more efficient outfit and manage moments better and make better decisions so that we can become exactly that.
Can you question the desire of the team in the second half? Is it about character building for the squad, this result?
One or two people, you know, that are shouting that we're not trying and not showing the effort, and I appreciate it can come across and look like that. I think it's a real grey area. I think some of those players lose their way a little bit, and, you know, sometimes that body language may not appear great, but it does matter to everybody. It matters to all of us, and, you know, I think that's, you know, when you're in there and say, you know, feeling that some people are taking the opinion that they don't care and there's not the effort levels there. I think that I would agree with that on certain players. I think there's a lot of players out there that do care and just find ourselves in a difficult place when we go a goal behind, and, you know, I've got to help them overcome that and understand, you know, when we do get ourselves in the lead and in the box seat, so to speak, that it's an easier place in which to play.
Ricardo Dinanga just didn't feel as if he got into the game today.
No, you know, there's exactly that. As a young man who, you know, Ricardo was poor. When you look at what people have seen, what he's capable of, the opening goal against Royston, I think the goal against Nuneaton, okay, you know, Coalville would have the profile of a more consistent and robust side than perhaps those two, and you've got to go and do it against the better sides, and Coalville have been one of the better sides in this division. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Ricardo hasn't given us a great deal alongside Montel in the first half. As I said to him at half time, you know, he's got to learn and understand there that we need more from him. We can't have 10 men playing on the field, and, you know, there weren't many bright moments that Ricardo's created there in the first half, which is unfortunate. But again, he's a young man, very young, very inexperienced, that I hope will improve for the experience.
That's Kevin Wilkin here on BBC Radio Shropshire following their defeat in the FA Cup first qualifying round to Coalville. Dean Craven was your summariser today. Dean, a very honest assessment from Kevin Wilkin there.
Yeah, I listened on it. I felt for him. When I've watched him do the interview, I felt for him because he's seen it as a fan, which was nice to see. Really, it's refreshing. You know, they was just honest. You know, they lacked desire. You know, you could see that. You know, especially second half, they lacked that little bit of desire. They looked really deflated, and, you know, the hunger wasn't there. And I think the manager's seen that. Not everyone, of course. You're not pointing the finger at everyone. But there was a few that I felt, and he's just said the same. They just lacked that little bit of, you know, real hunger for the game, hunger to get through to the next round. And you can't understand it. You can't, because it would have been so good to be into the next round of the FA Cup, and it's horrible. It's really deflating. You know, everyone's going home gutted, really. You know, you've been looking forward to a great game, which I was, which, you know, Scott was, which you guys were, the fans were, and you just come away now deflated and, you know, really disappointed, really.
Well, I read this message out earlier. I don't know if you heard it, so I'll read it and I'll put it to you, and you can let me know what you think. This was from Jamie, who said, "Wilkin is tactically inept and only knows two formations. We will never win games of football with Pigott and Moore in midfield. Time for him to go." That was from Jamie. I'm just gonna put that to you, and you let me know your thoughts.
I think it's too early doors to be saying, you know, that the manager's got to go. And, you know, formations, I get what they're saying with the different formations, but today it didn't matter what formation he played. It wasn't the formation, it was the desire. You know, and I know they picked a few players there that weren't at their best, and there was quite a few that wasn't at their best today. But for them to say, no, the manager's got to go, it's a bit early for that. You know, and I understand their frustration. I get, you know, we're all fans, aren't we? We're all fans at times, and it is frustrating, and the first person that gets it in the neck is the manager. But today, for me, it wasn't formations. It was just a lack of desire and hunger, and it's frustrating. So I get what they're saying. It really, really is frustrating. But you've got to give people time. It's too early, I think, to be chopping and changing. You see it in all the leagues. They chop too early, and I think he just needs a little bit more time. This is a new team. Let's try and forget today, because today wasn't all bad. When you actually analyse the whole game, we're well in it. He's given some scores. We're not having this conversation, and he should have scored. But in the second half, there was definitely things that will be frustrating, and you heard the manager say it. Some of them did look like you can't lack desire. If you're lacking desire, they can't beat a massive club like Telford. Telford have got to get promoted, and he'll know this, the manager will. Those players, they've got to ask themselves, do they want it? And if they do, are they good enough? That'd be another thing I'd be asking. Are they the right characters? There's lots of things, but I think to call out the manager this early is too much. I think you've got to give him time.
Well, thank you very much, Dean. That's Dean Craven, former Telford player, here with us on BBC Radio Shropshire, giving his thoughts following today's game. You can hear that full interview with Kevin Wilkin back on BBC Sounds. Telford then next in action away on Saturday. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff, and they're playing St Ives away next Saturday. Well, it's finished all over here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Coming up to the end of the verdict now. A disappointing day for both of our teams. Defeat for Shrewsbury Town. They went down 2-0 to Carlisle United here, and they can't get back-to-back away wins on the road. Disappointment as well for AFC Telford, who fell at the first hurdle in the FA Cup. Thank you for listening. Good night.
Adelaide with the ball. They've got a man over here. Here's a chance for 2-0. There it is. Carlisle have got a second. Late on. In stoppage time. It's played across to Joe Garner. The experienced substitute in his first time shot. This but Rossi no chance. And deep into added on time. Carlisle are going to gain their first League One victory of the season since gaining promotion against Shrewsbury Town here at Brunton Park. It's Carlisle 2, Shrewsbury 0.
It's Elliot Putman against Brandon Hall, the visitors, to take the lead in this cup tie. Steps up. And he scored. Coalville take the lead from the penalty spot. We've had an hour gone here. It was high into the right corner of the net. Not really a chance for Brandon Hall, who he's beaten, and Coalville take the lead. It's Telford 0, Coalville 1.